Hey, we are here.
Hello.
Hi, I'm here with my good friend Swoon, Jaydee.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Jaydee and I have we've been hanging out for the past 6 hours now or something.
Yeah, we've been hanging out all day.
Crazy. Yeah, I know. We were talking about we used up all of the conversation that we could have had for the podcast.
Yeah, we did. We talked about everything.
Yeah.
Already. So now we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we talked a lot of shit about a lot of people. We were putting people down.
Yeah.
Jaydee and I got we went to 7-Eleven real quick, and there was this lady that came up to us, and I had used my shirt to open up the door because that's just how I do everything. And she's like, she mumbled something to her. You guys are going to be before, and we're like, what? She's like, you guys are too young to be this scared or paranoid. That's what she said. Yeah, to be this paranoid.
Yeah. And
I kind of started fucking with her, and I was like, yeah, man, you got to take down you got to bring him down.
Yeah. Well, she was like, I forget what else she said. Something like it's all just like a power play. They just want to control you. Yeah. And then you were like, that's what I'm saying. And you were like, you should take it down. You should take them down. And she was like, what? And you were like, we should take them down. And you got into this whole fucking rant for the entire time we're in line at 7-Eleven. You're just like, I mean, it's propaganda, and you were going in on this lady.
But then at a certain point, she was getting uncomfortable because she's like, well, no, she's just like, they're just trying to control or whatever, and I don't think she knew how to
even respond. Yeah, she was not prepared for
because I went to a level above her,
conversation.
And then I kind of brought it back. I'm like, well, look, I think that a lot of people are scared right now, and it's just the government works really slowly for a reason. And the reason that this whole mask thing is taking so long to sort of wear off or whatever is just because it's designed to be that way, that there's not these crazy, shifts back and forth.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of turned it back around, but...
No, you did, but it was just funny because, after a certain point, it was almost like you were talking to yourself. Yeah. But, she was, listening to be polite, I guess, because she started the conversation. Yeah. And then the funny thing is, whatever she said right before you started talking, which was, it's a power play, for control. Then you started talking, and then 10 minutes later, not 10 minutes, whatever, however long later, you were done, and then she was like, yeah, it's a power play. It's just for control. She said the same thing again. I was like, you just.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun to fuck with her. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that pulls out my camera and calls her Karen and tries to fucking ruin her life.
Well, no, she wasn't she wasn't even really being rude. She was just
I feel
weirdly comfortable talking to us.
I feel like a lot of the time the reason that those situations get escalated is because someone pulls out the camera and the person feels like their back's against the wall and they double down.
Well, I didn't tell you about this. I went to this ice cream place last week. Actually, no, I don't think it was when I saw you last. But anyway, I went with a couple people to this ice cream place in Calabasas, and we're in line, and everybody has masks on and everything. And then I guess the people scooping the ice cream weren't wearing gloves. So this guy that's literally behind me in line, maybe in his 30s, he out of nowhere, everyone's just in line doing their own thing, whatever, it's relatively quiet, and then out of nowhere he steps out of line and goes up to one of the people who's scooping the ice cream, and he's like, hey, wear gloves, and the guy was like, okay, what the fuck? And then, sorry, can I cuss?
Yeah. You say whatever the fuck you want, dude.
Right, fantastic.
It's the internet.
And then and it was so immediately aggressive that everybody else was like, what the fuck, and then the the cashier was like, sir, calm down, sir. And then the guy went to scoop another scoop of ice cream, and then the guy was like, hey, he's not wearing gloves, and the guy's like, sir, and they were like, it's not a health requirement, sir, you need, you can leave if you don't like it or whatever. And he's like, what if I just pulled out my phone and I filmed him then and I put it on Facebook? And then it was like, you could do whatever you want. And the guy pulls out his phone and goes up to him and starts filming him and everything. And he's like, I'm an attorney. They were fighting for a long, we were in line that entire time. We went, got our ice cream, paid for it, scooped everything. And then by the time we're walking out, he's at the door, literally in front of, blocking the door, yelling at the security guard and at the person, the cashier from the ice cream place. They're just in a full-on argument, yelling at each other. Fuck. And we were trying to leave with our ice cream, and we're waiting for them to move out of the way so we could just actually exit. It was weird. You
didn't want to watch and just see.
I did. The people that I was with were like, let's just go. But for a little while, I was like, wait, I want to see what happens.
Where's this going?
What's going on? Yeah,
they're gonna fight.
Yeah, that guy was crazy. that guy was really crazy. Like, and I love that he kept saying like, I'm an attorney. It's like, so what does that
like,
mean?
Fuck, I hope that you never are defending me.
Yeah.
Like, start yelling at the judge.
Because like, okay, I guess by saying you're an attorney means you know the law. So you're like, that's kind of what he was trying to say, was like, oh no, I know that you're supposed to be wearing gloves because I know the law because I'm an attorney.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then just call the police or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, like whatever the fuck you think that needs to be done there, you know, in your head, then go ahead and do that. But what is like sitting there and yelling and arguing with people gonna accomplish? Like, you're just like flexing, I guess, and trying to show that you're like smart.
It's just a power play, man. It's just propaganda.
It's power for control.
Yeah, we need to take him down.
Yeah, no.
We need to tear him down. Yeah, man. Working with the public fucking sucks. Like, just working with
customer service.
Yeah. Just interacting with everybody. You don't realize that, like, how many people or you start to realize doing that the people outside of your immediate circle, a lot of them are just fucking assholes. Like, I don't know how you become that cynical, or does life just have to fuck you that hard to where you? It's like that guy. We were watching that video of this guy in New York, and he's fucking practicing his trumpet and like on the street. Video. Yeah, and this guy comes up to him and he's like
you're no talent, nothing.
Yeah.
He's like yelling
nothing.
I
went to.
He's like, I walked Bob Dylan on stage. What are you?
Yeah, and it's just like, how do you become that person? I am who I am now, and I'm sure that in like 20, 30 years I will be somebody very different,
right?
Hopefully more matured. Right. But like, at what do they start off that way? Are they always that way?
I don't think so. I mean, this is actually something I think about a lot, which is that, like, my biggest fear, or at least one of my biggest fears in life, is just becoming bitter, like becoming a bitter person. And honestly, like, I feel like your chances of becoming bitter are higher than your chances of like ending up not bitter.
Yeah.
Because like life kind of does that to you, you know, like over time, like things get, I don't know. It sounds like super negative and dark.
It seems like the easier choice, because you probably gonna experience so much hardship that it's like easier to just fucking fall into it than it is to like.
It's more difficult to keep the like fire alive, or keep like the sort of positivity alive, I guess. And I like, actually, you know, I wouldn't say I feel that way necessarily. Like, I don't feel like I am bitter, but I can see why it happens with other people, and like I feel like just as easily over the years I can end up falling into that trap as well. And I that's like the worst thing to me, when somebody is bitter. Like, you know, there's a bunch of other things that I feel like I don't want to end up happening in my life, or as I get older I don't want to kind of fall into these habits, but that's one that I'm really, really particularly like hate and don't want to become, is like just bitter, like bitter at life, bitter at other people, bitter at young people, because didn't, you know, for some kind of reason that I didn't, that I'm not happy or whatever, like so I have to take it out on other people. Like, that's to me the worst thing. Like, it's so
I feel
ugly.
like you'll be fine. I don't think
thank
that
you.
Well, I think that the people who become that aren't even aware that they've become that, or maybe it's every so often they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, I think that it's like, to have that perspective and be like, I don't want to become that so young.
Yeah.
But sometimes I guess maybe it just does happen to people, because like you see a lot of old people who are just fucking bitter. Especially, I worked at a movie theater, and most of the issues that I had were just with old people.
Damn. I mean, I think old people have that thing where like they don't feel the need to be polite anymore, which I kind of get though, because if I'm if I'm honest, when I'm an old man, like I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, thank you, like, and be like super like I mean, not that I think I enjoy being polite to some extent, of course, but like once I'm old, I'm gonna be like, dude, I'm gonna die soon.
Yeah, like, you like kind of earn your right to.
Yeah, it's like I'm on my way out. Like, let me just fucking enjoy these last couple. Like, it's annoying for you, but you're fucking 20. You have your entire life, you know, like, to fucking, you know, whatever, for everything. Thought about it that way. I don't have much longer, so let me just be a dick. Like, talk shit about me. I don't care. Go talk shit about me with your friends. Be like, fuck that old man. Like, da-da-da. I don't care. I'm an old man. At 80 years old, am I going to give a fuck what some 20-year-olds are talking about or saying about me? Not really.
But it's like,
or at least I don't want to. I hope I don't.
Yeah, there's some people, like, I feel like, I hope that I'm the kind of person that still wants to make people feel good.
Of course, yeah.
Like with every interaction.
I mean, and that's part of what we were saying. Like, that being bitter is like, you really not only do you not care, but you don't want them to have a good time. You're like, you don't want other people to feel good or be happy
because you're not happy.
Because you're not happy, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to bring them down to your level. So, anyway, though.
Yeah, man.
How's everything been though with you?
Everything with me, everything's been pretty okay actually. I started back up doing martial arts again. Yeah, I'm so fucking sore today. Jaydee knows I've been having trouble just like getting up. And yesterday and today what's today? Thursday?
Yeah.
On Tuesday, I went to class and we were working on like a bunch of jumping techniques, and that's like a full body thing. And the next day, yesterday, I was just like, my lower back hurts. What are these? These are your
I'm the wrong person
traps.
to ask.
My traps hurt. My quads hurt. My hamstrings hurt. Like all. Like
God
my
damn.
core, my whole body was fucked up. Like I had trouble getting out of bed yesterday and this morning.
That happens anytime I work out.
Yeah,
Literally.
That's a lot of people's issue when they try to work out. They
go all in.
Yeah, they go all in. You burn yourself out so quick. Like I made that mistake. I shouldn't have gone that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's that's weird too, because it's weird to me that like when you work out, it hurts in the moment, but then you feel good and then you feel shitty. It's like, what's the delay? Like what's the delay of your muscles like starting to hurt?
I wonder if it's like adrenaline or something. Like
I guess that makes sense actually. But like, why does it take that long? I feel like like I'll work out like really hard once every year when I do, and and when I'm trying to convince myself that I'm gonna actually stick to it, and then afterward, like usually. If I'll feel amazing, I'm like, oh, it's like I feel so good and I feel accomplished, and my body, like I go take a shower and I'm like, oh, I feel so good and everything, and like I'm not sore, at all. I feel great, I feel fine, and like everything's totally mobile, like it's fine. And then for some reason, as time passes, like I wake up the next day or whatever, and then now it's like everything is super stiff, it hurts like a motherfucker, like I can't really maneuver, like move well and everything, and it's like. That's so weird to me. Like, why? It's
the healing process that's the most painful.
Yeah, I guess
which is interesting, and I feel like that equates to different areas of life too. It's like it's like a breakup or something, Like maybe at
Delayed
first you feel good,
pain.
but then it's like delayed. Like
you're right.
This fucking hurts, and then like healing process or whatever is like painful, and then you end up stronger than you were before. And I feel like it's that way probably with a lot of things, like even just like. On a less emotional level, like metal or something, it like heats up and it goes through this period of it's really soft for a while.
Yeah.
And then as it hardens harder than it started.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Really interesting.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what you're doing with your muscles. You're like kind of breaking them down so they can build back up stronger.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy to me how everything scales up and scales down in the universe, it seems like most phenomenon that you can experience, like even just emotional phenomenon, can be related to some sort of like astral phenomenon or some sort of microscopic phenomenon.
No, you're right. I definitely notice a lot of like those parallels in like life where I'm like, oh, like this thing happens in nature, but it also happens in like our social lives, and it also happens in everything,
Yeah,
there's a lot of those little like parallels, or like I don't know, I guess things you could use as a metaphor, like that like almost like universal truths.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Definitely.
It's definitely really interesting.
I feel like we forget that we're a part of nature.
Right.
Because
That's true.
we're so far removed from it, but we really are. We're a product of.
That's really true.
Like pure nature. Like to me, space is pure nature, even though you don't really think about it as nature because you think of nature as living.
No, well, yeah.
Nature is just like what is.
What is natural, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but also like, I think. Because I agree with you totally. Like, I always think about that. Like, I don't spend nearly enough time in nature. I guess most of us really don't. Even if you are a person who kind of, like, gets out there, like, once a week or, like, whatever, like, I feel like we're, as humans, programmed to want to be in nature. Or at least maybe not want to be in nature, but we're programmed to, like, respond well to being in nature. I was really into this. I don't know if I ever mentioned him to you, but I was really into this author called Johann Hari, who's, like, he's this British guy. He was a journalist, and then he started writing books. And he basically just like goes around. He takes like a subject, and then he goes around to, he goes around to like scientists and different experts in the field, and just kind of tries to learn. Like he learns a lot of different kind of things about a subject, like results of different kinds of experiments and different kinds of stuff like that, and then puts it together to kind of like figure out a larger picture of what's going on. So one of his books is about depression, and generally he says like from all the interviews that he got, like there's like 7 main things that people can do, like implement into their lives that will, that are like scientifically proven to have an effect on your overall mood and your depression, that serve as like natural antidepressants. And I don't remember what all of them are, but one of them is being in nature more.
Yeah.
Like that's actually like proven to be something that is, it doesn't mean it's gonna fucking make you happy or stop you from being depressed necessarily, but it's like steps you can take toward starting to do that, which I thought was really interesting. It's like, wow, like and it makes sense, like depression is this natural sort of thing, like it's not the same as like being sad. Obviously it's like this reaction that your body has to some of the mental strains and like social strains in your life. And your body actually like reacts to it physically, and being in nature is the same kind of thing. You go out there and you have a mental reaction to it, but you also have a physical reaction to it. It actually can help you feel better.
I feel like part of the reason that people are depressed is because we've created this completely artificial environment for ourselves. Like
it's true,
and it's
true.
We naturally, like vitamin D. Most people have a vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, no, it's
like
true.
Most people, because people don't get enough sunlight, so you have to take fucking pills in order to get it. I mean, I take vitamin D pills because I don't get enough sunlight, and I feel like I'm out a decent amount.
I don't take vitamin D pills.
You should. Help your mood.
Damn.
It really does. Yeah, because like.
Are you saying I have an attitude?
I'm saying you're an asshole.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, but no, vitamin D is super important.
Have you seen The Social Dilemma? I asked you that already. That's not fair, but I know you haven't. But that fucking documentary is crazy.
Does it bring up?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, well, so it's about social media, and it's a documentary where they interview like a lot of the designers that were behind like some of the biggest apps. People that worked at Instagram, people that worked at Facebook, people that worked at Pinterest, people that were like the president of Pinterest, and like all these different things. And it's like it more than anything breaks down the system and of like social media, like how it works, why it works the way it does, and then also the ideas like behind the designs of these apps and why they're designed the way that they are for what exact purpose. And it's fucking scary.
Yeah, like, man, I bet they. Okay, hold on, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, it's okay. And I've always felt like kind of scared of social media. Like I've always kind of, or at least in the last like 5 years, I've felt like weird about it. Like, oh, this is getting kind of crazy and like out of hand. And I don't know, like I think about it all the time, honestly, but I didn't know a lot of these like little things. Like, for example, they talk a lot about how, it's like people think that social media is free, that these things are free. Like if you're convincing somebody to get onto Instagram, it's like, they're like, is it free? You're like, yeah. But you're not paying with money, you're paying with information. Yeah. Your information. And then, so what they do is you are not their customers. Like, we are not Instagram's customers. We're Instagram's product. We are the product. Whoa. And the customers are the companies that advertise to us. Yeah. Fuck. Because they are the ones that are paying Instagram. So Instagram is, Facebook, for example, obviously is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It didn't make that money from us. We don't pay for the shit. It made that money from advertisers who pay them to advertise to us in a very like specific and accurate way, because Instagram knows what we're likely to buy. Yeah. So they're like, okay, we gather the info so that we can advertise your product to the people that are the most likely to buy your product, and you pay us for that. It's
like what I was telling you about earlier. Hannah, my girlfriend Hannah, she needed to get her tire replaced, so we went and we replaced her tire. And I guess the people didn't put the hubcap back on correctly, and it fell off while we were driving. And she was like, fuck, this is probably gonna cost a lot of money. I'm like, I'm not sure how much it costs. Let me check on Amazon. And I pull it up and I start typing in her model, and the very first result, like that's like highlighted, like the one that is like knows that you want, like the most, it's for hubcaps and tire covers. And it's like, I've never searched for that shit in my life. We were talking about it.
Oh, they're listening. They're definitely listening.
Siri's, hey Siri. Oh, okay, yes.
Oh, it worked on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, in that documentary, really like, and it's crazy to hear it from the butcher's mouth. You know, it's crazy to hear it from like the people who did this. Like they're explaining to you like, this is why we did this. Like we know we designed it to be more addictive. Like for example, they added a feature to, and most apps now have them, which is like the kind of scroll down, and then when you let go, it kind of like shoots back up to refresh. Like before, you would hit a button and it would refresh, but then they realized that the feeling of like pulling it down and letting go, it actually like reminds your body of the feeling of like a slot machine.
Yeah.
So it kind of like activates this sort of like pathway in your brain,
like
I guess.
Buttons. People like,
but they don't. But what they realize is the opposite. They realized that pushing a button isn't as like mentally satisfying as pulling the thing down, and that is a more addictive kind of move. So now they have this thing where like now you pull down and you refresh, and then you get something new, you know, every time you do it, and so it's like a slot machine. And they did that specifically just to make it more addictive, just because they're like, oh, this will keep people on here longer than pushing a button will.
I think Twitter accidentally stumbled upon probably the greatest exploit of our generation. And it's that tiny attention span thing.
Right.
Because they nobody thought that this 140, now 280, this like 140 character really limited sort of thing was gonna take off. When Twitter first came out, I was like, who the fuck had Twitter? Nobody had Twitter. Twitter fucking sucked. It was for like older people. And then now it's totally, and it was all about Facebook. Now it's totally switched. Because everybody can just put out this tiny little blurb, and you don't really have to put a lot of thought into it.
It's crazy. It's really insane. I mean, I mean, I'm not gonna like. I would love to like talk about that whole documentary, but you should just watch it first. Because there's so much stuff in there that's like so insane. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, and I think about it all the time, and like, especially when I'm like writing songs, because like, I feel like that's a subject matter that is not really like talked about that much in music, or if it is, it's talked about in a really simple way, but people aren't really exploring that so much as. And I feel like, why wouldn't you be like, that's the thing right now? Like the way that I mean, I don't know, this might be like extreme to say, but the way that like other generations had like wars and things that were going on, and obviously obviously like, you know, that's still a thing, and it's still a you know, a threat, I guess. But like, I think that our like big dilemma, you know, in our like generation, obviously climate change and stuff, but even that, those things are like perfectly linked, you know what I mean? Like social media has kind of made us into people who don't take action as much, you know, and made false information like super like prevalent, more so than ever before. And so there's a lot of things that are tied to this thing, to this issue of like social media and how they're exploiting us and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm afraid for like the next generation, like that's going to be even like, think about like a kid who didn't have like super fast Wi-Fi smartphone shit, you know,
access
in their
to
life,
information like completely
they're exactly
at their fingertips.
And there are kids who are being born today who like, today is the day that they were born. Wow. And so this is like how advanced we are now is like where the start of their life is. By the time they're like 25 or something, it's going to be fucking insane. And who they are is going to be so affected by growing up in this world of all this stuff. It's like, that's going to, I can't even imagine what that's going to be like.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Insane.
And the cool thing is as long as we don't die in the next like 20, 25 years, we get to see what happens.
Yeah, cool. I guess it's scary too.
Yeah, it is fucking terrifying. I'm scared to bring children into this world, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and that's like, I don't know. There's a whole lot with that stuff, but it's crazy. Like, it's really, really crazy. Like, just a lot of if you like look at a lot of the facts and statistics about how it affects people, and specifically how it affects young people and stuff, it's like it's insane.
Do you feel like we're in the final stretch
of like what, humanity?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like every generation feels like they're in the final stretch.
Yeah,
of humanity.
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about like if I grew up in the 60s. When like everyone, at least in the U.S., everyone was afraid of like a nuclear,
Vietnam and fucking everything.
Like we're still afraid of that, but like not that. Like we don't think about it every day. It's not like the thing where we're like, you know what I mean? Back then though, during the Cold War, like it was like, okay, any moment now, fucking, you know, everything's gone.
It could have been though.
It's true. It could have been.
It really could have been. It took a very specific chain of events happening to keep us still afloat.
Yeah, but I feel like at that point I would have been like, I'm living in a dystopian nightmare right now. Like this new technology of like this nuclear bomb, like why did we create this? Like we just fucked ourselves, you know. I'd be thinking like all the things I'm thinking now about like these new things, I would have been thinking then about those things. So it's like when I put it into that perspective, I'm just like, well, maybe I think that right now, and I'm like, how much crazier could things even get? And it's like, well, I have no fucking idea how much crazier things could get.
Don't test the universe, man.
Yeah, no,
don't prompt the simulation.
Yeah, okay, I don't know what that means, but yeah.
I had a dream recently, and it really freaked me the fuck out. I've been having some really like kind of fucked up dreams.
Interesting.
Really fucked up. Like I keep having dreams where everybody has to kill each other.
Jesus.
And and it's like brutal, like real, like
battle royale.
Oh yeah, pretty much with like knives and shit. Like it's like it's real intense.
Sounds
but
scary.
this dream, I had one of those. I was playing bass for Mac Miller in this dream, and he was still alive, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. I was Thundercat playing. You can love it, you can leave it, there's nothing about it. You know that song?
Oh,
It
I
just
think I do.
freaks me out. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not relevant, but yeah. And then we were playing this house show, and then all of a sudden, it turned into this thing where everybody had to kill each other.
Wow.
Like it was just like there was like a timer, and it would count down.
It's like From Dusk Till Dawn. I was just telling you about that.
Really?
Movie.
Oh yeah,
No,
exactly,
just like
exactly. Yeah, just out of nowhere, just
everybody starts
180
killing.
switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I run upstairs, and this I don't remember really like who they were, but somebody attacked me with a box cutter. I managed to get the box cutter. I slit their throat, killed them. Somebody attacked me with a knife. I got the knife, killed them, and then somebody had a better knife, and I killed them for their knife.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well,
sounds like a video game.
Yeah, and what ended up happening was I ran outside, and there was this manhole cover type thing, and it like was. I kind of felt like I had to go look inside of it, so I looked in, and there was a scroll in here. And the scroll had some like super crazy information that I couldn't really understand. And then I like ran out to my car, and I saw these people, and they were in like construction gear.
Yeah.
And they were pulling the engine out of my car and replacing it with this like weird yellow one. And I knew what they were trying to do is they were trying to slow me down because I was traveling too much, and I was making it too hard for them to render the simulation.
Jesus.
Yeah. And
how did you like?
I don't know how I came to that conclusion. I just knew. And I attacked one of the workers, but the main guy who was like in charge of the whole thing, he was kind of like, oh shit. He like snapped his finger, and I woke up again, but I was inside of that same house that we were just killing each other in, but it was like all fucking torn apart. It was like, it looked like it just went through a tornado. And I ran downstairs, and I was like trying to like turn lights on, but nothing was working.
Yeah.
And my car was gone, but there was this bike, and this bike was all fucked up. It had like 4 pedals on it, and like I would try to pedal, but it would stop halfway, so I'd have to like pull the pedals back and like keep going like that to like actually move forward.
Yeah.
Like it was taunting me.
That's
like
so
it was
weird.
like, you're not going anywhere, bitch. Like we got
Holy
you.
Shit.
Yeah. And it really like when I woke up, Hannah was next to me, and I had sort of woken up, and I woke her up. And I was like, I had this dream, and like I kind of explained it to her like half asleep.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, it's okay, like it's all right. And I was just like, this is still fucking part of it. And I was freaked the fuck out, and I wasn't believing that she was
still
real.
In the dream.
Yeah, and I was like, oh
punch her in
my
the face.
fucking god, yeah. It
You're
really.
like, oh, shit,
I had a shaky grip on reality for like a day or two after that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, like I've had dreams where like it's so vivid that it kind of makes you question reality. You're like, oh shit, like that was like, and also this happens a lot where like you'll have like a memory and you're like, wait, was that a dream or was that real?
Oh yeah, I've been getting deja vu a lot.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy though. That's super intense. I don't have a lot of dreams like period. Or I mean, I guess I don't remember them.
Yeah, I didn't used to either. It was in the past year I've been getting kind of fucked up by these dreams.
It's because you started smoking weed.
No, I was smoking weed before that. Yeah, I feel like weed is actually, isn't it supposed to do the opposite? Like you dream less?
Is that true?
That's what I heard.
Maybe that's why I don't dream at all.
It doesn't let you.
No,
because you're a stoner, dude.
I don't smoke.
It doesn't let you get in like REM.
Yeah, is that true?
I think so. I think it stops you. I know drinking does for sure. I think smoking does the same thing.
That's why you're so exhausted when you wake up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you don't hit REM and like you don't.
You don't hit REM because you're hitting pipes.
Hell yeah, boy.
Can I use the restroom, or is that allowed?
Yeah, you can.
Am I allowed to, or am I locked in this room for 3 hours?
No, go. I'll try to figure out how to entertain for the next.
All right.
Few
Sorry,
minutes,
guys. Again, I'm gonna leave you with
this.
this guy.
Better hurry up, though. Better hurry up. Cool. I painted one nail earlier. I will paint my other nail while we wait for this. It's one of my nightmares. One of my nightmares that I have to take the reins and be the sole provider of this podcast. I've thought about it before. I've thought about trying to stream. I've streamed on Twitch a few times, and thought about like if I can do a solo stream. But I think it's just so interesting having these conversations. But maybe I'll do some solo streams too and see where that takes me. I like to produce on stream. I like to just talk about my day. And yeah. Here, I'm gonna check the comments. How you guys doing? Where are you guys at? Those nightmares sound fucking... Yeah, they are fucking scary. They're terrifying. Oh shit, we got a little reunion in the comments right here. I'm really excited about this podcast, guys. All 6 of you guys watching right now. I love doing it. I love just talking to people, and I think it's a cool format that people have. Like I was talking about Twitter earlier, how like it seems like it's like an attention span sort of like just like a distraction, and it's like little blurbs. I really like the long form nature of these conversations. Like just I don't even usually get to have 2 to 3 hour long conversations with friends in general, and getting to do it in this sort of format. Super cool.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, is this?
Sounds good.
Yeah, man. How was your pee?
It was good. It was yellow. I need to drink water.
Yeah, man. I can get you some more water.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Oh yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, man.
Some water in
We
there.
stay hydrated in this room.
Yeah. You know,
I never turn the fan off. I wonder if that's whatever.
I feel like I definitely don't drink enough water.
Oh, dude, me too.
Like, I try.
Do you know how much water you're supposed to drink?
I don't. Probably way more than I do, probably.
An adult male apparently is supposed to drink a little bit more than a gallon a day.
Damn.
Yeah, I try to drink a gallon.
Wait, what?
Yeah, man.
That's not true.
Dude, I looked it up. I looked it up recently because I was like, I feel fucking dehydrated constantly.
Yeah, no, I feel you though. I do too. I feel dehydrated all the time.
You're supposed to drink 8-ounce glasses. It was like the standard before.
But that's not true anymore.
Yeah, it's not. It's actually more now. Because
it's not.
It's different for each gender.
There's no way.
Dude, I looked it up. I can look it up again.
Somebody look it up.
Yeah, somebody look it up and yeah. And
how much water is an adult male supposed to drink?
Yeah, it's more than a gallon a day. And I tried to drink a gallon the other day. I made it like a specific challenge.
So hard.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
I was like,
I've tried that too.
I was sure it was like, oh, it's 11:57, and I still have like a fifth of this gallon left. Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it. That's
good.
good.
Let me get this.
Yeah, I used to try to do that too. Just could carry a gallon. I mean, it's just so inconvenient. And like, what I ended up doing was instead of like throughout the day, just like sipping the water every now and then, like I would just like chug the fuck out of it, and then wait like 2 hours or 3 hours, and then chug more, and then like by the end of the night, I'm like, fuck, I have a shitload more. Yeah. Just like chug a shit.
Well, that's how they were doing it. Like when they had to hunt and gather and shit, you'd find a water source. You only had it for a specific amount of time. Then you go fucking do shit. You know, people didn't have hydro flasks with them all the time. I mean, I guess they started making canteens.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I guess before that they didn't.
Yeah, but it's like you're limited by.
But are we trying to live like they're living? I don't think so.
I kind of.
Not really.
Kind of. I want to.
But you don't.
I think sometimes like do I want to spend my last days just like out in the fucking mountains just by myself and not
like
really...
like Into the Wild? Have you seen Into the Wild?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. But
he died.
As a in the movie you're saying, or
no, the real guy, the guy that's
really?
based on Alexander Supertramp or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know he died.
The movie's based on a real like a memoir of this guy's life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he just wanted to leave civilization. Yeah. Because he hated it, and he like got rid of all his everything, and then like drove up to Alaska and went out into the woods and like turned this bus into like his home. And then he died.
He probably was happier than most of us.
I agree. I think he probably was. I think you're right, but I mean, damn.
Yeah, I mean it's
a little extreme, but
it is extreme, but it's like at a certain point, if you are just yourself and you're by yourself in your own head, and it's like
damn.
Yeah, I mean, was it like his life got fucked up and he just
no
like, his family he just left his family?
I mean, according to the movie, his family was well off. Like they had like money, and like he just
did he have a kid?
He had just
wife
graduated college, I think, or he had just graduated high school, and that was just his decision. Was like, I'm gonna go do that. so he went and did it.
Wait, he just graduated his
high school or college.
He just did?
The guy.
Oh,
and then
okay. I thought he was older when he did that.
No, he was like in his 20s.
Damn. How long did he survive out there?
Maybe less than a year. I don't know. Maybe a year. It could be more. I have no idea. I don't remember. But something like that.
Shit.
And again, like I only know. I never read the book, so I only know what the movie says, which could be like not totally real. But yeah, he fell in love with Kristen Stewart. Met Vince Vaughn.
Oh yeah, and this is not in the movie. In real life,
Vince Vaughn. Like he met the actor.
Yeah.
At a bar in Alaska.
Wow.
And then I was gonna say something else. I forgot. I was thinking of another movie. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, I feel you though. I what I want to do, what I really really want to do, like for some reason I became obsessed with this during quarantine, is I want to like maybe for a year live like in a car, or like, I mean not live in a car, but like have like
live out of a car.
Live out of a car, like, and travel like just the United States, like travel through many states and like stay at different places and document the whole process. And like, because I feel like that's one of the amazing things of social media now, going full circle, is that it allows you to do that. Like my brother kind of did that. He lived like off of social media essentially. Like he's a photographer and he would do travel photography, and so it kind of was this perfect cycle where he would document his travels with his photography, and then you get paid to do it more, and he could travel more because of it. And then
when he first started doing it though, was it that way, or he just was hoping that it would turn?
Well, at first he would just travel, like he himself would pay for it and stuff. I told you about how he went to Australia because he fell in love with a girl. Years ago, and then kind of on a whim left school. He had been in school for 6 years and like left everything basically, and was like, I'm going for a year.
Life, man.
But it saved his life, really. I don't think he was really happy. He loved photography. He had been doing it for over 10 years at that point, I think. So he loved doing it, and he would do like weddings and stuff, but it just was not something that he was able to turn into a career. And then he went to Australia and then lived out there for a year and just like started taking photos like a lot. And Australia is really beautiful, has a lot of nature. So he would take a lot of photos of that, and then started gaining a lot of followers on Instagram. By the time he came back, he got a job as like a photographer for a brand and started making good money. And like from then he was like on salary job, and like from that point forward, just like that was all, you know, once he had gained those Instagram followers and kind of had that sort of audience, he turned that into like, he ended up quitting that job and just was freelance, making a lot of money and traveling all over South America, Central America, Asia, etc. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. And so I don't know if I'm like that daring to like fly all over the world and do this, but like I would love to, like for a year or 6 months or something, like bring a camera, maybe like a little mobile studio, have like a big car, like a decent big car that I could like travel in, and just like go get out there and like meet people and like well, by myself, I guess. Maybe I don't know if I'd honestly be down to do it by myself. I would love to do it with my girlfriend, Andrea, but
if she's down,
we'll see.
Andrea, he's calling you out, you have to make a decision by tonight.
I'm telling the world so that they'll tell Andrea and convince her, because she's not totally sure about the idea, but someday it will happen. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but at some point I would love to do that, just to experience that, just to know what that's like what it's like to like not live here, because this is the only thing I know how to. That's the only thing I know is like how it feels to live, you know, in the valley or in LA, but like, and I've been to other places, but for short amounts of time, and it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like visiting somewhere for a week is not even close to the same as living there. So 100%. Like, at least like experiencing other places, experiencing what it's like to live outside of your comfort zone and outside of the place that you grew up in and stuff. You know, like, yeah. I mean, it's like it's like that's one half of like what making music and being an artist is, right? Is like the experience. You know, you have to experience the things and then you reflect on them, and that's your art, you know, but you can't only focus on like music or like whatever you're doing and just like that
because you just start writing, like your writing stops being about real shit and you're just like reaching at that point. Exactly. You're not experiencing anything.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, exactly. And yeah, I mean, I that's what I want to do. I want to.
That's what happens
I want to get out of this fucking town. I hate this town.
Oh man, we should just run away together.
Just run out of this town.
Yeah.
Just leave this town.
Leave this town tonight.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, it's Run This Town.
Yeah, Run
It's
This
Run
Town.
Run Out of This
I
Town.
thought you were doing like a pop punk song, like all the pop punk songs that are like,
yeah.
I hate this
I
town.
want to go away.
Yeah. My parents suck.
Yeah. Oh man, you should. I'm gonna shout out somebody else while you're on my podcast.
Okay.
Angelo.
Go for it.
He showed me some stuff. Real fucking good. Real good. And can't
Angelo been making music.
wait. Yeah.
He's out there doing his thing.
Yeah. Check out Ricky,
We're plugging
Ricky
our friends right
DeLeon's.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out Ricky DeLeon's album. It's fucking fire. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's
Really good.
and hey, the hummingbird thing. It's the album cover. His album cover is a hummingbird as
I know.
well.
I saw. That's what made me really want to listen to it too. I'm like, oh fuck, like.
You're like, I love
Yeah, I
hummingbirds.
have
Fuck.
to. I do, man.
I hope there's hummingbird sounds on it.
I don't know if I've ever explained on the podcast why.
Yeah, why is it a hummingbird?
It's so hummingbirds are just very they're just very symbolic in my family. Like for my like when I think of hummingbirds, I think of my mom. I think of my grandma.
Wow.
Yeah, because they just always have thought of hummingbirds as like kind of like a sacred, I guess, animal in some way. And like my grandma has a bunch of hummingbird feeders. My mom has a bunch of hummingbird feeders. She has a bunch of hummingbird paraphernalia. And I was trying to think one day of if I ever had like a vanity plate, like what I would want to put on it. I was like trying to figure out like what's a word that's like long enough, and I'm like, hummingbird would be cool. It's too many letters, so I'm like,
yeah.
Well, H.
Sorry, your laptop's gonna die.
Oh shit.
Should probably do that.
I should probably do it.
We were about to disappear for a second. I do like hummingbirds a lot too, though. They're fucking cool. That's all I have to say. You're like, they're sacred in my family, and I think of my mom, and I think of my grandma, and all the most beautiful people in my life, and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, hummingbirds are dope.
Yeah, man, they're cool.
They're
dude.
dope.
Yeah, but yeah, I got
I'll fuck
that.
with a hummingbird. I love a hummingbird.
I've thought about using it as like an artist name a few
Hummingbird?
times. Yeah,
That'd be sick.
yeah, but I don't know. I'm gonna stick with the Dan for a while.
The Dan.
Maybe at some point switch. Who knows? Who knows?
Can we
what the
get
future
dinner
has
after this? I'm
in store.
hungry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sorry,
do it.
guys.
Yeah, no problem.
You guys aren't invited.
You guys can come. We'll just vlog the
No.
whole thing.
No.
And yo, okay, that's. You ever watched any of those vlog families?
No, but I know what you're talking about. Like the what are they called?
The Ace family.
Ace family,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, they seem fucking miserable.
That's how like. You're right. I mean, they do and they don't. They don't seem miserable, but I feel like it's a front for the fact that they're miserable.
100%.
Because
like, you can see,
how do you live documenting your entire life?
Yeah, all the time.
And,
like constantly
yeah.
having camera on. You're just like,
Having it up for scrutiny, like
yeah.
every single thing you do is like, fuck.
Yeah, the vlog couple is like your significant other does something nice for you,
Yeah.
but they're filming it, so it is like,
Is it
does
real?
it really feel
yeah,
like it's
no,
for me,
exactly.
or is it just for the fucking content?
You're right. And you know what's funny is like, this is a thing that I think is like kind of a new thing, is that I have these moments a lot where something feels so good and pure because it's like secret, or not secret, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like the cameras are so prevalent, like the proverbial cameras in life are just so fucking prevalent. There's just cameras everywhere and like eyes on you everywhere, and you know, everything is being documented, that sometimes I'll have like a moment, like I'll have a moment with Andrea where like we'll just have like this little conversation or like something that's like very pure and like feels amazing, and like part of the reason why it feels so amazing is because it's like
It's yours.
not documented, and I'm like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's this like mentality, which I totally understand, but there's mentality of like when something's awesome or amazing, you're like, document it, like put it on YouTube or put it somewhere so that
Yeah.
we'll get hits, and we can turn it into like, we can like commoditize it, you know, and turn it into like, I couldn't say that word.
Yeah.
We can commoditize it and
I
like,
would have. I just.
turn it into like a you know, a way to kind of like
Yeah.
make a career or like whatever. Like that's kind of a weird thing. Like, dude, like I don't know. It's like never before has that been a thing where it's like anything interesting could be turned into a career. So it's like there's people who have jobs, they have careers, and then all of a sudden they make like a video of something and it goes fucking viral, and they're like, fuck this thing, fuck the
Yeah.
thing that I've been practicing my whole life. I'm gonna fucking do this now. Like I'm famous now. What the fuck am I? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Like
It makes me sad when I go to a show or a concert or something, and people are just filming the whole thing and watching the whole thing through their phone. Cause it's just it's like you're not actually experiencing it. Like you're not in the moment. You're not actually seeing what's going on.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, I understand. It also is like, because I think that too in general, just about like taking too many photos and taking too many videos and stuff. Like I'm not really that guy, but at the same time, it is like some things like you're like when you document them, maybe not concerts necessarily, but like documented, like it's a beautiful thing sometimes where you're like, oh, like photos and like videos of stuff, like I've watched old, I mean, I don't know, this is different I guess, but I've watched like old home videos of mine or like of my girlfriend's family, and like, you know, I don't know, just the way that they can reminisce is like really, really beautiful.
But you take that for yourself, like you take that for yourself for a future
yeah,
date. If you're posting it, you're taking it, you're decreasing your experience for other people to show other people like I did this.
I just mean, excuse me, I mean you're right, but I mean you could always look back on that stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's true. So it's like some things maybe not now, but some things you might be glad later on that you documented, you know. So I don't know, it's like a push and pull, as is with everything. But. Yeah,
but are you ever gonna watch 45 minutes of fucking
well, so no, the concert I agree, I 100% agree. Like unless you're fucking like documenting it with like mics and cameras and to get it actually like
the whole point of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then no, it's ridiculous. I don't understand. You know what you know what my mom used to do is back in the day, she would like set, we would go to a concert or something, and she would set the like audio of the concert as like her voicemail like thing. So it'd just be the song like playing, like when you call and she doesn't answer, it would just be like Donna Summer like singing her heart out, but like at a concert she's holding up her phone and like fucking recording it.
So that way people know like oh, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I guess so. I don't know. It was just like a way of, I don't know. That was weird, but she used to do that.
That's pretty cool.
Or she had that. I think she had it like once or twice, but yeah, it's fucking funny.
It's
like,
cool that she thought of that.
Isn't that like funny? No one puts time into their thinking of like a creative like voicemail thing.
Yeah,
yeah. Back then that was a thing.
I used to have one that was like one of those like gotcha, like say like I just say like hello.
Those. I hate those.
Wait, what? Oh no, I'm just kidding. It's my voicemail.
I know.
Dude, my grandma would get fucking furious at me.
Grace has had the same voicemail thing for years, and I hate it. I hate it so much. It's like super. I don't know where she was like filming it in a wind tunnel or something, because it's like and she's like hello, like, or something, or she's like hi and says some shit, and it's like, oh god, I've heard it so many times in my life, like, you know, thousands of times I probably heard that shit, and I hate it now. I'm like, please get rid of it. She'll probably never get rid of that shit.
Did you ever have like a call tone, like when somebody would call you, a song would play?
No, but I
used to have fucking Linkin Park and Evanescence like as my call
That's
tone.
So funny.
And the only people calling me were my fucking like grandma and my mom.
They're
and my
just
dad.
like have to listen to Linkin Park.
Like forced to listen to my shitty
so
music taste.
Speaking of forcing your parents to listen to Linkin Park, my when I was like in second grade, I bought a Linkin Park CD because I just really liked them, like Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, good album, great album.
But and I was obsessed with it, and I would listen to it on the way to school in the morning. And my dad would always tell me like, "This isn't morning music. Like this isn't morning." And I was like, "Yes, it is." I like just getting super into it.
Crawling
and you know, that's so funny because like now that I think about it, even when I was in high school. I used to have this like stereo system in my bathroom because we would like put CDs in it and listen to music while we showered. That was like the thing with my siblings and shit. So we would burn CDs of like our favorite music and throw them in there, and we had tons of CDs and shit. And I would listen to fucking like metal. I would just listen to straight up metal like every morning and just be like washing my hair and like listening, just like like the craziest shit. Yeah, I don't know.
You think what do you think your mom was thinking? Like
she was used to it at that point.
Yeah.
My siblings were also
true.
into it and shit.
That's
so like,
true.
she just didn't give a shit at that
That's
point.
pretty funny.
It was every now and then she'd be like, "That's music?" She'd be like,
yeah.
Like, whatever.
Oh man, yeah. I went through definitely a long period of listening to just super heavy shit, fucking like prog rock, like Dream Theater and shit. I was bumping that shit.
Damn.
Man. I used to just pirate the shit out of everything, like on a little MP3 player.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Those were the days.
I would like download everything and like I'd make a lot of CDs. That was something I learned from my siblings. Like it's not really an our generation thing in making CDs, but like my siblings that are like 10 years older than me, it was definitely their generation thing. So growing up with them and growing up like looking up to them and everything, that was what I would do. So like I would like give people CDs. Like even my girlfriend now, Andrea, like. Early on in our relationship, like I gave her a series of CDs called the Andy tapes, and they were just like songs that I loved that reminded me of her or that I thought she would like, and I would give them as gifts. I would make like, I didn't do this with her, but what I used to do was I would you ever buy like a bootleg DVD?
Yeah.
You know how like comes in like a DVD case, but it's like thin. It's like a super thin DVD case. So I had tons of those. I used to have this guy. I'm digressing, but this guy that sold bootleg DVDs would come to my house. Like my mom would invite him to come into my house with a box of bootleg DVDs, and we'd be like, okay, what do you have that's new? And then we'd get all these like DVDs that are or
like
movies that are still in theaters and shit.
Theater,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we would get tons, and they were like bought them for like a couple bucks each. Anyway, so we have tons at home. So I would take one of those, and I would take the paper out that has like the photo and everything, and it just was like a blank like DVD case, and I would put my CD in it, and then I would like make a collage or like cut out of magazines like something that I thought was like cool, and I would put it in so it was like a cover art. So I would give them this like
that's
thing,
really cool.
like case with like a CD and stuff.
It's thoughtful.
So
it's a romantic gift.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a thing that I did since I was little, or since I was like in middle school or something.
Yeah, I bet people really enjoyed those. Where's my CD?
Damn.
Where's my
I don't have
tape, Jaydee?
Like now laptops don't even have CD drives.
Yeah, I know.
You can't even burn CDs anymore.
Here, let me make you a Spotify playlist.
But
people do that.
I know, but that's not the same.
It's not the same thing.
No.
It's not. You just have access to whatever. Like no.
Yeah.
You need to do it the right way. Rip it off of fucking LimeWire.
Yeah. Put it on iTunes.
Yeah.
Fucking make a playlist.
Yeah.
Burn that shit.
Yep.
I still have my old laptop that I would
Media player
with the CD. Yeah, Windows Media Player. I still have my old laptop that has the CD drive. Literally, I only kept it for that reason because it has. And I was like, if I want to make a CD, I could use it. I could use this laptop. It's all fucked up. The screen's all fucked up. It's terrible, but I still have it. I still have it for that reason.
Yeah, my old one has a CD player too. I need to stop this.
Burpy.
Yeah, man. You got the
burps. I
burps.
got digestion problems. That's why.
I've got indigestion.
All right, I'm gonna stop this for maybe like a minute just to reset the stream because Instagram, you guys know the deal. All right, so we'll be back in 1 minute. Just come back, please. Okay, I kind of forgot where it goes from there, and I don't want to fuck it up. Let me see if we're live again. We're back.
Oh, hi guys.
Yeah, hi guys. We're here again. Jaydee took another little pee.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck is that? It was in there. Hi, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm addicted.
It's okay. Yeah, man. That is some shit. That's some shit. I remember you took a social media break for a while, right?
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit. That shit doesn't work.
Really? It didn't work?
No, I mean it's nice. It helps like it feels good while it's happening, but it doesn't like help you not be addicted.
How long did you break for?
I mean, I've done it a couple times for I don't know what the longest I've ever done is, maybe a month or so.
Oh, really? Like no social media at all?
No.
Whoa.
I mean, maybe with the exception of like every now and then like something on someone else's phone or something, but like the main difference is that you don't have it like at your it's like not right there for you to just grab and like open all the time. But the urge is still like the urge isn't really there when it's not there, but the urge is there like still deep down because like as soon as you get it back, it's like maybe the first day or two you're kind of like whatever, but then you just like
I find myself just I keep closing out Instagram, then in like 2 minutes later I reopen. I'm like I don't actually give a fuck
because at the end of the day, not at the end of the day, but sorry, because like overall I feel like we're doing it because we like. I don't know. It's like the way I feel when I do that is it's like I need something. It's like I want something new. So it's like I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, there's nothing here. There's nothing like that interests me on Instagram. So I close it. But then I'm like, well, but there's nothing else. So then I'm like, just open it back up. Oh,
yeah. I think you might want to put that back in the stand possibly. No.
No. Yeah. It. I don't know. It's just this weird feeling of like. There's nothing else. Like, oh, like once I close it or I check Twitter, I check Instagram or whatever, and then I'm like, okay, well, check Instagram again, and then check. It's like it just you keep going in the circle instead of just being like, let me just do something else, like outside of my fucking phone.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I've been playing chess. Like, I know that you and Andrea just started playing chess, but like for the past like 2-3 months, I'm always playing chess. Like every time I take a shit, every time that I play chess. Chess is usually the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning. Wow. Yeah, I wake up. That's cool. Play a game of chess to kind of get my day
juices
started
flowing.
up. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not too serious. It's just fucking chess, and it's like, but it requires that kind of strategy and like
right. Gets your brain pumping.
Yeah, specific way of thinking.
That's cool. That's pretty smart, I guess.
Yeah, it's just been helping me.
Yeah, we've been playing chess a good amount, but definitely not that much. But who are you playing with? Like, who are you?
Random people online.
Oh, you have an app.
Yeah, I'm
right?
using chess.
This guy's got an app.
Well, yeah, there's like a chess app, like just called Chess.
Yeah, I
and
figure it.
Yeah, it's pretty poppin'.
We play on Game Pigeon, so you have to play with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, so then you're stuck waiting like hours for them to fucking.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to play on Game Pigeon.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, oh, you guys, because then it's like, it's not a real chess. Not that it's not a real chess match, but it doesn't have the pressure because there's like a timer that goes down as you're playing.
Right. So that that's funny. Yeah, I was just talking to someone yesterday about that. They were like telling me that they play online and it's like there's like a timer and shit, and I was like, damn, that's fucking intense.
It is intense.
Like I like chess a lot, but I'm okay at it, but like I don't know, I've never like had like a chess phase, like a real like chess phase. Like I just kind of like know how to play and like I learned when I was a kid, and then yesterday was the first time I played like physical chess in a long time too.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was
Where
fun.
do you play?
At Bijan's house against Bijan.
Okay.
I beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, it's fun though. I mean, it's really fun. I don't know. Anyway, chess.
Yeah, chess is sick.
Yeah, chess.
This has probably been the most interesting part of the podcast where we just talked about chess being all right.
Chess is better than checkers though.
I like checkers too.
Checkers is cool, but it's not the same.
I haven't played Monopoly in a really long time.
I like Monopoly. It's just fucking too long. Like I know that's always the criticism, but it's fucking long. It's really long
to play a full game.
Like I remember the last time I played, it took so long for us to like all own the properties.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, and now the real game begins, and I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah. I'm like done already. I don't want to play anymore.
I heard that the whole reason that Monopoly was created in the first place was to show people how shitty capitalism is.
Oh damn!
Like that was the whole point of the game.
Satirical.
Yeah. It's completely satirical, and that's why it's just like it fucks you, and it's not fun. They know that one person is gonna end up dominating and make everybody else have a really shitty time.
Damn.
Yeah,
they're like that's the point.
It's like a statement, man.
That's
just
society.
It's just like a sick little statement.
Damn. Board games are fun though. I like having game nights and shit. Like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to drink. I was about to say though, like drinking is fun or whatever. Like going to a party and like that whole thing. But sometimes it's fun to just like not drink or like just not do anything and just like fucking hang out and and like literally. Wholesome fun is so fucking underrated. Like people hate on wholesome shit. I feel like the only people that hate on wholesome fun is like teenagers. Like teenagers like that's fucking lame. Like we got to get drunk or whatever. But it's like
because they're new.
Yeah. But it's like shut the fuck up. Like trust me, this shit's fun. Like getting together with your friends and fucking just having a game night. That's fun as fuck. Like what else is really fun? I mean, well, some aspects of it, but like I love going to like parties for like a little cousin or like a little whatever, because there's food and you're chilling and there's music and shit. I mean there's alcohol sometimes too, which is ironic, but like you know what I mean. It's like I'm like teenagers, like teenage parties, no offense to any teenagers watching, I know you a lot of them follow
all my teenager friends.
Your teenage demographic. I feel like a teenage party is like you show up, there's like no fucking anything, there's no like there's maybe furniture if it's someone's parents' house, but it's like there's like a table with like alcohol and like that's about it. Maybe like a bag of chips or some shit.
Depending on
your
family, man.
Well, no, if a family. Well, yeah. But I'm saying like if you know what I mean. If it's like a teenager throwing the party, they're not really providing anything, and like people aren't really bringing alcohol too much. Whereas like at least as an adult, you show up and you're like food and fucking this and that. You know what I mean? It's another thing that changes when you're older. Going to the beach. Like when I was a teenager, I would go to the beach with my friends and we'd buy a bottle of vodka and just fucking go. And like I got stranded one time at the fucking beach. Jeez. It was like ridiculous because we were so unprepared.
Was it you that got all your shit stolen at the beach?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, but a lot of my shit went into the ocean.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's different. I was shooting a music video at the beach, and then I left my phone, brand new phone, shoes, keys, car keys, in my shoes. All of them put them in the shoes. The tide rose, and then like it was all just gone. And I couldn't get into my car. I had to come back the next day with the locksmith. I was in socks. I went to eat at a restaurant afterward with socks on. Like, we had to call someone to pick us up. It was a whole fucking thing. I didn't even have socks. My socks were in the shoes. So my friend, when I called him to pick me up, I was like, can you just bring me socks, please? And he was like, yeah. Anyway, that was like separate. But in general, going to the beach, like, as you get older, it's like, maybe we should like bring some shit. Maybe I should bring some like food and like like chairs and like different, like you're more prepared.
It's definitely more
adult.
fun that way. When you have the whole setup and you're just like you can.
Oh,
relax.
totally. Yeah, way better.
I also feel like when I used to go to the beach, the main thing was to go in the water and like go hang out in the water. Man, I've had some shitty experiences in
doing that.
The ocean, yeah.
Oh no, yeah. I'm afraid of the ocean. Fuck that shit.
The ocean's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
I have a story.
Okay.
I almost drowned when I was it was really bad actually. When I was maybe like 7, 8, maybe a little bit older than that. It's hard. I don't know. My fucking. Do you remember your childhood really well?
I mean, parts.
Yeah,
I don't have like.
I feel so distanced from it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't have like super vivid memories. I have like only a few very vivid ones, and then a lot of like vague ones, and that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of fake ones. You said
vague.
Oh,
ones,
okay. I have some fake memories.
I also have a really hard time knowing, just in general, all my memories of when they were. Like I can know generally, like maybe I was around this age, but then it's like maybe I'm wrong. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like some people are like very good about like in 2016 this was happening. I don't fucking remember what was happening in 2016.
I know, right?
What was I doing in 2016? I don't know.
I don't have the frame of reference, especially when I was younger, because I wasn't really fucking paying attention.
Yeah. But I even like, for example, but even not even just when I was a kid, like even like 2016, like
okay, yeah.
That's 4 years ago. Like I was 20, and like I guess I kind of remember what I was doing when I was 20, but like sometimes I'll have like a story and I'm like that happened or whatever, but then I'm like I could have been 18, I could have been 22. I have no. I don't remember.
somewhere in
like
the history, 5 year span. It's like that's pretty.
There's clues. There's little context clues within the fucking story
who
that
I was hanging out with or whatever.
Yeah, or like if I could buy alcohol or like something, you know. But outside of that, I have no fucking idea. So anyway. Continue.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so I was probably in the 8 or 9 range.
Right.
And I went to the beach, and I was there with my mom, her boyfriend, my uncle, and just a few other family members, and my mom's boyfriend's son, who was like my age. His name was also Daniel, and my mom's boyfriend's name was also Daniel. So it was really confusing. But we were sitting in the water, and like just at the shallow end, kind of like letting the water go up to like our waist, because we were sitting, and it would go back. Well, we weren't paying attention, and I guess the waves had like gradually over time gotten bigger, but there was one wave in particular that was just like really large, and it came and it just totally fucking caught us off guard and smacked us. And I remember just like tumbling and flipping around underwater, and I popped back up and I was way the fuck out.
Oh, dude.
Him too. Like we both got pulled way the fuck out because there was a really strong rip current that day, and we kept trying to come up out of the water, and a wave would crash down and hit our heads, and we would go back down to the bottom. Yeah, and
that's
come back up. And every time I would try to get my breath, and it was just I would lose it again. And at a certain point, like I just ran out of energy, and I not really gave up, but like I couldn't fight anymore. And I kind of just let myself sink back down and let myself start fading out.
Whoa.
And like and
what happened?
I kind of had to come to terms. I
with
died.
Your death?
I died.
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
I didn't die. No, but what ended up happening, so I did have to come to terms with the fact that it was over at like that young. And I think that my concept of what that really meant is just like wasn't mature enough to really truly understand, but I still had to come to terms with that.
It's crazy that you say that, because I have a memory as well of it's a little different, but I was at a party in like 5th grade, or like a birthday party for a friend of mine, and we all went swimming in a pool. And he had this, he had like one of the things you lay on, like a little whatever.
Yeah, like the raft type.
Yeah, raft
like
type floaty thing. And we started like kind of like pushing each other off of it, because we all wanted to be on it. So it kind of became a game. Like we were like trying to like get on it, and then so it started off as like someone just pushed somebody else off as a joke, and then it kind of kept going. And then as it got like further and more intense, like got to a point where we were all trying to get on it at the same time.
Yeah.
And it had this like headrest with like a space in it, so it was like plastic, then nothing, and then plastic. You know, it's like it has like a little space.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get on there, and then my foot slips through the thing and gets caught between two parts of the plastic, right? And then it's like caught between two sides of the plastic of the thing, so it's like gripping me. The floaty thing is like gripping my leg, and then so I'm like stuck, and I'm trying to pull myself out, but as I'm doing that, the floaty is going crazy because there's a bunch of kids fucking jumping on it, and then it flips upside down. So I'm above thing, and I'm like above the water with my foot, but then when it flips, I get pulled completely upside down, and my leg is stuck in the thing. So I was like trying to get out of it, but obviously nobody noticed because everyone's just like like wrestling and all these kids and like whatever. So nobody could even tell that I was gone or that I was like under the thing, because there was maybe like 10 kids or something. So I'm stuck under there, and I'm like trying to get my foot out, and then I like you said, I like gave up, like, and I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm dead, like this is it, like
man.
I die, I'm drowning, like I'm gonna die. And then I just like accepted it, kind of. I was like, "Fuck, that's it. I guess I'm dead." And then it flipped back over, and I came up.
Yeah, it's kind of peaceful, like in a weird, fucked up way. Drowning is kind of peaceful.
I was a kid, so I don't know. Maybe now I would be way more scared, but like at the time, like I was struggling and I was scared. But then when I accepted it, I was really peaceful. Like I remember just being like,
I've heard that drowning is like one of the most peaceful ways to go.
Oh, someone who's drowned has told you?
Yeah, people who have drowned, they survived. I mean, we
Yeah,
experienced it.
Well, we didn't drown. We were like drowning, I guess. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have. I was fading out, dude. Like
I was too. I understand. I totally know what you mean. It's like that's how it feels too. It feels like you're fading out. Like it feels like you're just like turning off.
The black is starting to come back down. The only reason that I even survived that was we were out there and I was getting pounded by the waves, trying to get back up, and I started fading out. And all of a sudden, I felt an arm grab me, and it was my mom's boyfriend. One of them had noticed, like no lifeguards noticed, nobody had even knew, but they were just like happened to look out, and like, where are they? And they saw us, and I ran out there, fucking Baywatch style, I guess, and they swam out to us. My mom's brother and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend grabbed me. Her brother grabbed his son. Yeah, and they both swam back against the current with like one arm, like super fucking like. I don't know how they did it because the rip current was crazy that day. Yeah, and they brought us back with like that adrenaline pumping, I guess.
Wow.
And, yeah,
you have him to thank for your life.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and then him to not thank for a lot of things.
Yeah, stepdad troubles, daddy issues.
Yeah, exactly. Stepdaddy issues. Stepdaddy drama.
So what do you want to eat when we leave here?
Oh man, I don't know, man. We got Denny's across the street. I
just can't stop thinking about food. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, man.
Should have done that before this.
Yeah, it's okay. I feel like every time that I decide to eat something before I do anything, I get sedated. Like, I can't eat before I'm about to make music.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I've been having fucking digestion issues, which I don't know if any of you guys out there have any digestion issues, but that shit is not fun.
Literally.
That shit sucks.
Yep.
And it feels like food is against me, but I love food a lot. So it sucks. It's heartbreaking,
Why do you love food? Do you just like the dopamine release that you get from tasting something tasty?
Well, I mean, it's a big part of it, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just love. I mean, yeah. I don't. You don't love food?
I do love food.
I think everyone loves food. But I also, not everyone loves food. Maybe some people don't love it. They just do it because they have to. But it's just there's so much delicious food out there. So much, and I'm not a picky eater. Like there are things I don't like, but I'm not a picky eater. And I love picky. Like trying things. You're kind of picky?
I'm kind of picky. But I've made a lot of progress. When I was a kid, I was really picky. Like,
damn. Why do you think you're picky?
Because I just don't. I like my stuff a very specific way. I like my food kind of bland in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's
like I don't like pickles on my burgers because it's just like the pickles overpower, and I don't like mustard on my burgers.
I don't like mustard at all. I hate mustard.
I hate when they fucking slather Thousand Islands all over a burger because it's the only thing that I taste.
I mean, if it's too much, like I understand, but I don't like bland things. Like I know a couple people that like pretty bland things. Like Andrea, my girlfriend, she'll just eat like rice, like by itself. Yeah. Or like she loves yogurt or
Greek yogurt.
It's not Greek yogurt. It's it's called lebni. It's like a Middle Eastern. Yeah. It's like sour cream kind of. Yeah, it's like a Middle Eastern sour cream. Yeah. She loves that shit, and it's very bland. It's a very very bland flavor. And she'll just put that on rice, or she would make Lebanese sandwiches, which is just like bread and this sour cream kind of thing. I would not be able to finish it. Like it might make me gag. Like I would like
really.
It's too much.
I've gotten better over time of like seasoning food well and like trying to even now like
dude,
compared to a lot of people, I don't put enough salt. I think I have like overactive taste buds. Like
sensitive taste buds.
Very sensitive, yeah. And I think that's what it is.
That might be. You could be a good like judge. I
guess actually maybe. Yeah. All 9,000 taste buds.
Yeah.
But
I love that shit.
Yeah, man, it reminds me of the salsa episode of Drake and Josh.
The
Peruvian puff pepper.
Peruvian puff pepper. Yeah.
But
I love hot sauces. Do you like spicy food?
Not really. It's too crazy for me.
I don't love like crazy spicy food. I'm not super. In fact, like compared to a lot of people I know, I don't like spicy food at all.
Oh, bitch.
But yeah, but I don't like when it's super super spicy. But I just like different kinds of like hot sauces. Like I love obviously the staple ones like Tapatio and fucking Valentina and all that shit. But I also love like Chipotle hot sauces. Are so Andrea and I have been obsessed with those. I like habanero hot sauces. They're so good too. Yeah. Like I don't like when my food is too spicy, but I love hot sauce. Like the flavor of hot sauce. It just
has to taste good.
Sriracha
like Tabasco, I fucking hate Tabasco.
I'm not a huge.
It just tastes like vinegar.
Yeah, I don't like Tabasco either. I'm not a huge Tabasco fan, but Tapatio's bomb though.
Tapatio's bomb.
Yeah,
Tapatio. I'll
they got like the perfect. Them and Sriracha got like the perfect like like people who don't like spicy food. Spicy thing.
Yeah, they got it. Like it's just the right amount of spice, but also the flavor. Good flavor. Is just so good.
Yeah. Totally, I agree. I love Chipotle flavored things too. I don't know if you ever had Chipotle flavored things, but they're so.
I like Chipotle mayo.
Oh god, I love Chipotle mayo and like Chipotle hot sauce and all these things. Like so good. I remember the first time I went to Chipotle, the restaurant. Yeah. I was so pissed because they didn't have Chipotle. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what do you mean? I literally ordered. I was like, can I have Chipotle on it? Like, does it come with Chipotle sauce? And they're like, oh no, we don't have Chipotle. And I was like, wait. I was like, what? Like,
their logo joking? Is like, literally the pepper.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding? Like, I'm at Chipotle. Like, this is, and they were no, it's just a name. I was like, that's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
Since then, I was
really you don't go to Chipotle now?
No, I don't like Chipotle. Really? I'm Mexican, dude.
Yeah, but it's still good.
I know it's not bad. I don't think it tastes bad. It's just this is how I feel about Chipotle. Everything at Chipotle tastes the same. Anything you order, whether it's a fucking bowl or it's a burrito, like and whatever you put in it, it all tastes the same.
How do you feel
I like Taco Bell.
Yeah, well then it's the same thing.
But it's not though. They have more variety. They have more variety, and I don't like, and true. I don't think of the thing about Taco Bell is it's so far removed from being Mexican food that I don't think of it as Mexican food. I just think of it as fast food.
Yeah.
Chipotle is trying to be Mexican food, and it is. It's not bad. I love the chips, for example, the lime chips, fire, and it's not bad. I would enjoy. I've had good Chipotle, but it's just not so good that it makes me want to go back ever. Like, why would I do that if I go to a fucking hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurant and get 10 times better for 10 times less?
Yeah.
You know
no. Okay, they are very overpriced, but I do fuck with a good Chipotle burrito. But those hole-in-the-wall places,
they're so amazing.
Yeah, they are really.
You got to find the right ones, but when you do, it's like a fucking miracle.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah, because it's real. It's authentic.
I mean, yeah, it's true. That's another thing that I don't. It just feels wrong as like a Mexican. You know, like I'm not even a super like. I don't know, like I'm proud of my heritage, but I'm not like a super like it's gotta be, whatever. Like I love other cultures and stuff, but like, I mean, nothing, whatever. My point is, like, part of it just feels weird and like wrong. It's like I'm going to a McDonald's Mexican food restaurant. Like, that's
do you identify
weird.
A lot with your culture?
I do. I fucking love my culture. Like, I love being Hispanic. I love like speaking Spanish, and it's very important to me to like maintain that part of my life and my personality. I feel like a lot of people don't know that about me because I don't wear it on my sleeve, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's something that I want to incorporate more and more into my art. I'm like obsessed with like Spanish language and Mexican film. I just love, and I made a song that's partly in Spanish, like I showed you, I think.
Yeah.
I was like rapping in Spanish. Like I want to incorporate that more and more. I just love it. I don't know. I love the culture. I love the music. I love Spanish music, mostly like cumbia, salsa, merengue. Like I don't really like banda that much. I don't know if any of this means anything to you.
No, it does. It does.
Banda's like a Mexican genre. I think it's good. I like it, but it's not my favorite. But like salsa, I fucking live for and die for. Like I love that kind of music, and like I even love reggaeton a lot. Like I love J Balvin and Bad Bunny and stuff.
Like real.
Most of it's really like salsa to me is just Spanish jazz. That's what I think of it as. Like it's like crazy, bombastic. It's like super improvisational and so much energy and like life. It's like jazz with like some salsa
with some spice on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like jazz, but it has that extra little like thing to it that I fucking love. And like, and it's funny because when I hear it, I love the way it sounds. Like, it's not just like this thing that's like my culture. It's like I love the sound of it a lot. Like, it blows me away. And then I play it for like other people who didn't grow up on it. And it's like, I can see that it doesn't connect the same way. And I'm like, damn, I feel bad for you because it's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Do you think it's just because like, do you think that even if you hadn't grown up in that culture, do you think it would still ring the same way?
I mean, I would like to think so. I think so. I mean, because there's also a lot of people that didn't grow up in that fucking love it too, you know. And I feel like if you hear it in the right context, no matter who you are, you get it. Like you understand why people connect to it so much and stuff. Like when you go to a party, like if you go to a good salsa party, change your life, change your fucking life. The food, the beer, the people, like the energy. Like the ambiance, like it's fucking amazing. Like everybody's dancing, everybody's having a good time. It's just pure joy. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge part of like the music too. Like salsa music, like thematically is not that diverse, I guess you could say. Like a lot of the songs are either about like love or heartbreak, or just having a good time, like which you could say is like a lot of pop music, but it's not just having fun. It's like joy. It's about joy. It's about like being happy, like having a good time, like in that way, like like pure joy, like a moment of like ecstasy. It's about that a lot of the time, and like letting go of like your stuff and or your baggage, I guess. Yeah, and I love it. Like I just love everything about it. I just love it so much.
Do you like? I don't know anybody that does it, and I don't know if it's just because I don't hang around in the right
that guy
circle.
Steven has a fucking salsa band.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I met him.
Steven, right?
I met him here.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I'm in a salsa band," and I was like, "What?"
That's fucking.
I was like
so
freaking
sick.
out, and I remember he invited me. I wanted to sing for his salsa band, like not as a not a permanent member, but at a show.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Please," like I messaged him because I was like, my dream is to do that, is to like sing like salsa music like in front of people, like just to do it at least once. Like it's one of my dreams, like you know. And he was like, yeah, come to a rehearsal, like. And then I tried to go, and like it was weird, like whatever, like I don't know, we didn't really communicate well, and I couldn't find it or some shit, I don't know, but and I was like late, it was a whole thing, so it didn't end up happening. But I was super like excited about it and hyped idea. And like I want to incorporate it in my music more. Like I want to make more kind of cumbia-esque stuff, and like there's a lot of really cool artists too who are like more of our generation, like in their 20s and 30s, that are Hispanic, and they do really cool, like interesting experimental, like artistic, like, you know, they kind of took it into the modern era, I guess. Like Nicholas Jar, for example, Nicola Cruz. Like there's a lot of these, like they're like producers and stuff who sample a lot of this old stuff, or they kind of use a lot of the influences of the kind of old Spanish stuff, and they make it electronic, or they make it new, or they make it like modern or different, and it's really, really fucking cool. Like I'm super inspired by all that kind of stuff, and I'm super inspired by the three like biggest like Mexican filmmakers in the world. They're like some of my biggest inspirations in the world, who have directed movies like Birdman and The Revenant and like Gravity and Roma and Shape of Water and all those movies. Like all the like they've accounted for a lot of the best movies of the last like 2 decades. It just, I live for that shit.
It's like, crazy because growing up in Los Angeles, you are exposed to so much Hispanic culture, just because
so close.
And the Hispanic population is just so high here. It's crazy that a majority of the country is not exposed to really diversity in general.
No, you're right. I mean, exactly. And it's crazy. It is really crazy. I mean, and it's weird for me because it's like, I mean, that's just my whole thing. Like I was born into it, and I grew up in that kind of family. I don't know what it's like not to have a Hispanic family, and that kind of thing. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, and even if you weren't born into it, like being born in a place where it's very prevalent and where diversity is prevalent is really lucky. Like we're all really lucky, like, and not just for Hispanic culture, but like I'm really lucky to have, like I went, for example, to a convention with some of my friends who are Muslim, for their specific like sect of Islam, where they do this, like it was like a 90-year anniversary of this church or something.
Oh, wow.
And so they have like a local convention, and then they have like a countrywide convention where it's like people from all over the country come here to do this, like have this huge event. Wow. And then they do an international one that's in like Japan or some shit, or like I forget where it was that year, but they all fly over there and fucking do it. So there was a shitload I went to not the international one, but the countrywide one, so there was people from all over. And tons of different races, and like it was insane. Like it was really beautiful, and there's a lot of music and like really good food, and like they taught me the dances. Like I was like learning how to dance with them and stuff. They do these really cool. They have these cool like party, you know, like traditions.
Yeah.
Which were really really cool to learn and stuff. And I love like learning dance moves from different places, and like I just love to dance in general, like at parties. So like I love when I can like kind of you know become a part of that for a second. So that was really fun too.
I was exposed to
and I would never be able to do that if I was in LA.
So. Yeah, 100%. I was exposed to a lot of Armenian culture growing up, just because like the Armenian population at my school was so high, and I just grew up like all my close friends were Armenian, so I would go to their parties, and their food's fucking awesome. Armenian food's great, and they're dancing like the way that it's so different. It's so cool being able to see somebody whose experience is so different exactly than mine.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, you know, I feel like more and more online and stuff, I see people getting mad about
like appropriation.
Yeah, cultural appropriation, which I recognize as an issue. But I think that the line between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation is not it's not super well defined. And I don't know how it could be really, but like it's kind of all over the place because, for example, like I know and you know the people that I know of my culture love when we see anybody from another culture that is like, you know, experiencing our culture and participating in it. You know what I mean? And obviously, a lot of the stuff you see online is different to that. It's like people dressing up and doing whatever stupid shit, but like seeing people like seeing like white people or like bringing white people is something I've done my whole life, is like not just white people but anybody, but you know, bringing somebody who is of a completely different culture to a party with my family or with friends of mine or whatever, where it's like a bunch of Hispanic people and there's a lot of fucking Hispanic music and the whole culture is everywhere, and like I don't want them to like sit in the corner and be like, well, I don't know anything about any of this, so I'm just gonna observe or like whatever. It's like, no, get in there, like get in, you know what I mean?
Get included.
Yeah, exactly. And like because I want you to see how beautiful it is, and the only way to see that is from the inside, you know? I mean, from the outside it can look beautiful and you can appreciate it, but at the same time, like I feel like you're really, really going to start to understand us a little more if you can get in there and like live like us a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like even just a little bit, it can kind of change your perspective a little, and I think it's important.
I feel like that's actually a part of Hispanic culture too. Is it's pretty inclusive, but other cultures are more closed off and harder to sort of like even find that sort of in the first place. Right. And
I mean,
there's so much beautiful shit out there. It's like, why would you not want to?
And I think it depends on the context, but most cultures, I think, are, you know, pretty welcoming and inviting and under the right circumstances, and any culture can be sort of protective of itself, which I think is rightful, because again, I think when people get mad about cultural appropriation, what they're afraid of is that things are going to get diluted and people are going to forget of what the root of it is. Yeah. Which
does happen.
It does happen, exactly. So I think it's fair for some cultures to be more defensive sometimes and you know, again, under the wrong circumstances become sort of I don't know, exclusive or like not being very, very inclusive. But at the same time, I think most cultures like would be glad, you know, to invite people in, and like it's just because it's a joy. And I mean, I say this as like a Hispanic person, and you know, somebody of a culture that is not the majority. Like it's a joy to see anybody that wasn't born into this, that didn't grow up in this, experiencing it, enjoying it, and seeing it from a perspective that I know they've never seen it from before. Yeah, like that is, I love that. That's like, it makes me really happy. So, again, like while cultural appropriation can be dangerous and it can be a very negative thing, I think on the flip side, cultural appreciation can be a really, really amazing thing.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't get people who think it's like who like dress up as a culture for like Halloween or something.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
weird. That's
like,
weird.
What kind of person
are you
to do something? No, seriously.
No, I get
like
you,
to be so socially unaware.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that seems like an easy one to avoid. It's like, well, just don't do that. That seems pretty like a no-brainer. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that. I don't know. I was gonna say I feel like it's dying down, but actually I don't even know if that's true really at this point.
I don't know. I think it's dying down only because people are getting canceled.
Yeah, taking photos of it is dying down.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still
And
happening.
and like you said, there's a lot of parts of the country where people they're not exposed to diversity, so it's like they probably don't give a fuck. They'll do that shit, you know.
Yeah.
Like, they'll dress up. However
They don't have to
dress
answer
up.
to anybody.
Exactly. It's like they'll show up at the party. No one there is gonna call them out on it. You know,
probably
whatever,
laugh with them. And
yeah, exactly. So
be
I
funny.
don't know. But then at the same time, like, that's true. But I mean, just being honest with myself, like, I'm not the guy to call people out on that shit.
Yeah.
And not because like I'm like afraid to or whatever necessarily, but just because I'm like I don't care enough.
And it's
like,
not worth it. It's
yeah,
not worth the effort to try to.
which sounds
fucking-
bad because I know a lot of people are like, no, it's fucking worth it and it's important and stuff. But it's like, I just feel like I'm not gonna be the one to change somebody.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
not.
Like, the only way I'll change your mind is like, again, if you have like some kind of reservations about my culture, then let me show you my culture and you'll love it. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get you to change your mind by being aggressive or like get you to change your mind by being like, what the fuck is wrong with you and like you're a shitty person and all this stuff. It's like that's just not. I'm not gonna make any progress with that. Why am I gonna waste my time doing that?
It's like the same thing with the lady in the 7-Eleven earlier. It's like I could have like sat there and try to fucking change her mind and had this whole fucking thing. But why would I do that?
I was surprised that you even had that that conversation with her, because when I was listening to you have it, I was like, wow, like I would have just been like, haha, yeah, and then just walked away because I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I
don't know. I think that
I thought it was cool that you did
even
it.
interacting with people in that capacity is pretty fun to me.
Yeah.
It's like I will talk to anybody.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's a good trait.
Yeah, even if you have a differing opinion, it's like it's interesting to me to get that perspective from somebody who thinks so differently than I do.
Yeah.
And as long as there's that mutual sort of respect that like we're probably not gonna change each other's minds here.
Right. But that seems frustrating. That's the thing I don't like about it. It's just like, well, why would I start this like debate? I don't know.
It's just insightful.
I have less and less like patience for debating people.
You're becoming cynical, Jaydee.
I'm not even cynical. I feel like now I'm not as I want more of a comfort level before I get into that with somebody. So like I even feel that way about music. Like I've been talking to people about this where like I don't like talking about music with people anymore. Like I do with people that I like and people that I know and people that I trust and people whose opinions I trust and etc. Like and you know, it's not true. I fucking love talking about music. Like I love talking about music and ideas and all this kind of shit, and we talk about it all the time. But with strangers, I try to avoid it. Like I parties, fuck no.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about music at parties. I don't give a shit.
What do you do, man?
I avoid it. I avoid it like the fucking plague. Because
like somebody asks you that question, they say like, "What do you do?"
Oh, what do you do? Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, I make music.
And then they ask
even the other day, somebody asked me that, and I was like, I was like nothing. And they were like, really? And I was like, no, I'm kidding. I make music, but like whatever. Yeah. And that's it.
Do you feel
like
I
don't try to. I hate talking about it just because. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Do people take it seriously? Do you think people take it?
What do you mean?
Like when you tell them like that you do music, like
do they take it seriously? I don't know. I mean, I don't try to like. That's what I think. That's what I hate about it. My least favorite thing. This is gonna sound like I'm such a douche, but my least favorite thing is meeting somebody else who does music, but then they want to have this like conversation about it in a way that's like, I don't know. Like I don't know. It's just like meeting somebody else that, oh, you know what it is? It's when the other person is, because there's people who are cool about it all the time. Like I meet people who want to talk about music and they're really chill about it and they're like, you know, whatever, and like the conversation will lead into something really cool. That happens all the time. You know, I'm like, I meet someone who's really cool and we end up having a really cool conversation about music or creativity or whatever, and that's fine. But then sometimes I'll meet people where they're trying to make themselves sound like a big deal, or they're trying to make their music sound like they're trying to make you take it seriously by telling you.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like, that's what I have no patience for. Not even for them doing it to me, that's annoying, but I have no patience for doing it myself. Like, I'm not going to sit there and try to explain to you why you should want to listen to my music. Like, don't listen to it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, don't listen to it. Really.
If you're actually interested, just go
listen
check
to it.
Out.
Exactly. If you want to listen to it, go. But otherwise, I'm not going to sit there and try to convince you and like try to make it sound like it's good. Like, why?
Yeah, I worked with this guy, and he was actually co-producing this guy's album, and it's
exactly.
Just
I get that shit all the time, and I literally when I start to hear it, I call it musician talk. When I start to hear musician talk, or I don't know, maybe I should call it like douche talk. But when I start to hear that, I'm just like, I roll my eyes immediately, and it's just like, oh God, here we fucking go. Like, I went to a kickback not too long ago, and there was this girl there, and I could overhear her like kind of talking to this group of people, and they were all like listening to her very closely, and I was just saying hi to people and stuff, and then she was like, yeah, you know, like, us musicians, you know, we blah blah blah, and like we write music about all of our experiences and just all this shit. She had like, and it was all just bullshit. It's like all like, it's like, okay, yeah, it's true, but it's so self-righteous. It feels like so like how, like, who cares? Like, that's not that important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that important. That's I guess the fundamental feeling that I have is it's like the music is important to me, and it's super important to me, and if you want to make it important to you, that's fantastic. But I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you that it should be important to you, because I don't think it should.
Yeah.
I don't think it should. Like, if it is, cool. But if it isn't, it's like, at the end of the day, I'm just making music.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to like sit here and try to
Stroke
pretend
your
like
ego
I'm
and
cool
shit.
because
Yeah.
I make music. Like, that doesn't make me cool. It makes me
Yeah.
cool if you talk to me, and you'll see that I'm a cool person. Like, because I'm going to be nice
He's trying
to
to
you.
convince me?
Yeah, no, no, but like judge me off of like, am I having a cool conversation with you? Are we is it interesting? Like, am I nice? Am I a kind person? Am I caring? Like, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Like, judge me off of that. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, my music. And then also, this is just, I mean, and this is if any musicians watch this or are watching this, like, the more you say about your music, the more you have to say about your music, the less the music actually says for itself. Like, and you don't want to be the musician that has to speak for their music. Be the musician whose music speaks for itself. Please. Like, trust me, that's the way. Like, that's what you have to do, because I know immediately when I'm talking to somebody at a party or wherever, and they're like they're trying to talk up their music to me, or make it seem like it's a bigger deal than it is. I already know. I'm like, it's not that good. I know it's not that good, because if it was that good, you'd have shut up and played it. You know what I mean? Or like, if someone's about to play it or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to talk about it. And I might be wrong sometimes, but usually that's the case. Like I was at a bar once, and the bartender was like talking about music, and you know, he took this position that I think a lot of guys take in conversations, that is like it's like the alpha, like, I know what I'm talking about and none of you do, so let me educate you type position, you know?
Yeah.
That was what he was talking to us like. And I didn't even mention that I made music. Like, I was with a group of people, he was talking to all of us, and like I said, I avoided like the plague, so I was like, I'm not gonna fucking say shit. Like, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, cool, like, whatever. Because he's like trying to explain some shit about he's a producer and blah 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 and all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, you know, I forget what he said. Like, I've been to this festival, and I did that festival, and I DJ'd at this festival, and this
It's
and
like
that.
fucking trying to name drop like all
yeah,
these places
that I've never fucking heard of anyway.
Like, who cares?
Like, exactly. And I'm like, oh God, okay, yeah, you're cool. Like, you sound awesome, dude. And everyone was like, oh, cool. You know, you as a listener, you're just polite, so everyone's just like, oh wow, cool, yeah, cool. And then some of my friends were like, play some of your music. And he did, and it was like not that good. And I was like, I knew it. Like, I was like, I knew it wasn't gonna be that good, because if it was, you wouldn't have, you know, had a whole spiel in your head already about why it should be good, or why we should think that it's good. The way that he was going about it was in this way where it's like, oh, it's good, trust me, you just don't understand it. That's kind of that was kind of his mentality. He didn't say that, but it's sort of like,
implied by.
That's why I'm explaining to you why it's good, because obviously you're not going to just get it by just listening to it. I have to explain to you that it is good and people love it, and that's why I played at that festival, or like whatever. It's like, I don't care where you played, your music isn't good.
And also, you're just giving whoever you're showing it to a more cynical ear by doing that.
100%.
Because if you're hyping it up to this degree,
exactly.
like, now my expectations are through the roof, rather than just like, I just make.
And that's funny, because I almost do the opposite oftentimes, where I'm just like, oh, you know, this is whatever. This is like unfinished, or like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a cliche thing, is the disclaimers. Yeah, which is not a good thing. But, you know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't like it.
I've gotten better at being honest if I'm excited about the music. Like, not about hyping it up, but just too. Like I'm actually pretty proud of this beat, or like like I like the direction that this thing is heading in, not just shitting on it like I would have done in the past.
And I don't shit on my stuff really. Like, as a joke, maybe I will sometimes, but I don't like. Because I don't not like it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you about the fact that I like it. Oftentimes, you know, if there's things I don't like about it, I'll be honest about those. But outside of that, it's like I think I make great music. I think I make really good music, and not like not objectively. Like I know it's not for everyone, and not everyone's gonna like it. But it's for me. It's definitely for me. So I honestly I love my music. I think it's fucking great. And when I make a cool beat, I'm like, this is a cool beat.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna try to convince you it's a cool beat. The beat will convince you or not that it's a cool beat. And that's it.
I always immediately want to share it with people. Like,
me too.
And which is bad. I don't say it's, I don't think it's bad.
But
yeah, and it's one of those things where sometimes you do kind of need to live with it yourself and have it be yours for a while before sharing it. But sometimes I'm just like, I love this. Like this is something I've never made before.
And
like,
I'm
it's
so excited. I want someone else to be excited with me.
Yeah.
The worst is when you do that and then the other person's not excited.
Yeah, not as excited as you are.
Like, that was cool. Or you know what I hate the most is like when you're really excited about something and you're like, go to your friend and you're like, let me show you this thing, and then they just don't even acknowledge it. Like you play it and then it ends and then they're just like, so anyway, and they just like move on to something else and you're like, okay.
Get better friends.
Yeah, maybe I could. Yeah, it happens all the time. Actually, it happens a lot.
Really?
Not all the time, but like it's happened before where like I'll play something for someone and then they just like don't say anything.
That's kind of disrespectful.
It happens
in a way. Like even if you show me something that I don't like, I'll at least try to find something about it that I like.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but I don't know. Not everybody feels that way, so it is what it is. But again, I don't know. I'm also not trying just for like someone else's validation. Like maybe I am to some extent, but like I try not to. It's like, well, at the end of the day, whatever. If you don't like it, what I'm trying to do the most. So we've talked about this where we're trying to like really simplify what we do. Yeah. And as a producer, that's what I want to do. Like that's why I don't want to be doing fucking Kenny Beats beat battles and shit, because it's like, I started off as a beat maker mostly, but I don't want to just be a beat maker, and I don't have a beat maker's mentality. Like I'm way more interested in songwriting, and the difference is that beat makers, when you make a beat, it's like all about like what can you do. It's about what can you do. You know, like how crazy can you make this beat? What kind of crazy techniques can you use? And like you're showing off. You know what I mean? Like you're showing off your technical skill, but I don't care really about that as much. I used to, and I have, and those things interest me, and I like listening to those things. But I'm way more interested in like how do you make a good song? Because that to me is like abstract. Yeah. That's like something else. It's not like I could teach somebody how to make a cool beat, but I can't teach somebody how to make a good song. Really, I could like kind of guide them a little bit, but if they don't like have this, if they don't like, you know what I mean, trust themselves or like whatever, there's tons of things. Like it's so much more of a personal and internal kind of thing to make a good song. You have to like, and one of the things is learning how to trust your taste. I mean, that's what I was kind of getting at. Is hard. Like it is hard, but it's so crucial. And like the more you can get in tune with the fact that your taste is good, or even if your taste isn't, if you don't feel like your taste is up to par, you have to like explore more and like learn, like listen to more music and like or whatever, like. Yeah. But get to a point where you feel good about what you like. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, how much does what you like line up with what is like actually good? I guess I don't know.
It's also finding your sound. I think is a really big part of it, because especially in the early part of like when you start making music, you're kind of experimenting and like exploring.
Oh,
and,
100%. And you're copying a lot. Yeah, you're like taking a lot from other things.
Oh yeah,
totally. You're right. But I think because I feel like that's such a thing that if you think about it too much, like I don't know how the fuck to find my sound. Like I don't know. Like
what it is just getting away from the copying factor.
Right. Oh, 100%.
And maybe it's just like inspiration. Yeah. You get inspiration, but you're not making like.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, because like there's definitely times like early on where I'm just like, this is shit's so Daniel Caesar. I fucking love Daniel Caesar. Right. And it's like, now I'm just trying to make a Daniel Caesar song. I'm not making a Dan Durant song.
Totally. I mean, the funny thing is, I think you never stop copying. You just start copying in much smaller increments. Yeah. Like before, like copying is when you like take a big ass chunk of something and you're like, this is what it is. Like not like a piece of music, but like I want to make a song like this song, you know what I mean? Like specifically, you're like copying this one thing. Whereas like now I copy shit all the time, but I'm like copying tiny things. Like I'm like, that little thing I want to incorporate in what I'm doing here.
Yeah, like the song I showed you earlier with the Childish Gambino.
Yeah, totally, exactly. Yeah. Little things like that where it's like, it's just a little tiny thing that you're taking, and I'm taking all the time. I mean, I didn't, you know what I mean? My frame of reference for music is other music, so it's like obviously none of it is like, I'm not going for like the most original sounding thing you've ever heard. You've never heard anything like it. no, it's gonna sound similar to other music to some extent. It's gonna have an air of familiarity to it, but at the same time, I want it to be unique and I want it to be different. But the only way that I can do that and feel good about it is trusting what I like. So it's like I have to trust that when I hear something and it's good to me, then it's gonna be good to someone else. Yeah. You know, it might not be good to that friend that I showed it to that wasn't as excited as I was. The motherfucker. Friend.
Who is it? Call their, say their name.
I don't know. just like whoever in the random moment, but like. It might not be that good to them. That's what happens a lot of times. Like I'll be disappointed because I'm like, fuck, that person didn't like it as much as I like it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, fuck that person. I didn't make it for them. I made it for me. Like I made it for whoever else likes shit that I like, and like I like it, and I do like it. That's the big question. Is like, do I like it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're making some shit and you're like, this is kind of cool, but then you're like, do I really like this? And you're like, not that much.
Yeah.
You know.
Or you realize it's like this is just way too derivative, or like. This
right.
is
Exactly. Yeah. Something like that. So once you don't feel good about it, then that is what that is. But as long as you feel good about it, then it's like, well, someone else might not like it, but fuck it.
I feel like a struggle for me sometimes is it's really easy to fall into a certain like groove and kind of make the same thing multiple times, but then trying to be a little bit more out of pocket, but not so out of pocket to where it's like I'm trying to be different just to be different.
That's true. That's another thing for sure that is easy to fall into, is where you're too focused on not sounding like something else, that you're not really doing what's best for the song anymore. You're just doing what's more unique or different or whatever.
And it's
I fall into that a lot too, because being like having my music be different is very important to me. Not even in a way where it's not in an external way, not like I want people to think I'm different. Not really that. It's more like it doesn't excite me if there isn't something about it that seems unique or new to me. Like I get really excited when I make something that I like, that I just feel like is good, but also I feel like I've never heard a song like this.
Yeah.
That makes me super, super fucking excited. So I always try to do that. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that. I mean, in terms of just like, if I listen back to a lot of the music, like it's not all my favorite shit, but my discography, the thing that I'm happy about with it is that it's a constant evolution of what makes me excited. It's a constant evolution of like, how can I like explore something interesting or new for myself? You know what I mean? Like, and as long as I keep doing that, like, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's all about evolution for me, for sure. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, that's why my favorite artists are my favorite artists, because they've evolved and they've done really cool stuff that way. Not, you know, there's artists that I really love their music and they always make the same kind of music, and after a while it just gets stale and boring.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed when someone releases a new album,
right?
It's the same exact thing. It's just like the song is, I mean, it's different. Like technically, like yes, it's a different song, but you're still encompassing the same vibe as your last time.
You're exploring the exact same ground.
Exactly.
You're retreading the same ground.
Yeah, and it's like it's usually not as good the second time around.
No, it's not, because you already the first time you heard it was like wow.
Yeah.
The second time you hear it, it's like oh okay.
I also, and it's this weird sort of like dichotomy where I am also sometimes kind of taken aback when an artist takes like a big change in direction, like the change from Channel Orange to Blonde,
right,
or the change from To Pimp a Butterfly to Damn.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes that change is jarring,
yeah,
and it almost makes me not like it at first, until I kind of ease into
it. But I
think
that's part of like what's cool about a lot of that stuff. I mean, definitely. And you're right. Like Blonde, for example, when I first heard, I was like, I didn't not like it, but I was on the fence about it.
I was underwhelmed.
I was like, I was kind of like, oh, this is cool. Like, I don't know. Like, it didn't just like fucking blow my mind immediately. It was just like, these are good, but nothing really like, or maybe only a few of the songs like connected really.
Yeah.
But then over time, and here's the thing too, about an artist that is evolving constantly. And here's that thing about taste. Like, people don't talk enough, I think, about taste when it comes to being an artist and being a musician, but it really is everything. Because, for example, like, because if you think about it, all these artists are doing, like all Frank Ocean is doing, is he's taking the stuff that he hears, music and everything that he's influenced by, and etc., and he's putting it through this filter of his taste, and he's curating like Blonde is an amalgamation of like all these different songs and styles and melodies and things that he chose because he likes them. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's what he's doing, like singing, or what instruments that other people are playing, or beats or whatever, he's like, I like this. This is cool to me. So let me show it to them, and maybe they'll like it too. He's like a curator of taste.
Yeah.
You know, and so the thing about that though is once you trust somebody's taste, even when you don't love something immediately, you keep coming back to it because you're like, there has to be something in here that I'm not seeing. And oftentimes there is.
Yeah.
And that's why it grows on you. You know, like that's the same thing with like Kanye or Kendrick. It's like Kendrick to Pimp Butterfly, like for some people it probably hit immediately. Like I liked some of the songs immediately. I didn't necessarily some of the other ones. But what happens with these albums often is whatever's my favorite song at first changes.
Yeah.
And then it's like this song, the first time I listened, I didn't give a shit about. But now it's my favorite song in the fucking world because I heard it 5 times, and that 5th time, something about it just hit me in a different way.
Yeah.
And
for me, that song on To Pimp a Butterfly specifically is You.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I remember when I listened to it. I was in high school and I listened to it like in class, like or something. I had my headphones in, and I had already heard the album multiple times, but for some reason I went back to it. I wanted to listen, and I was listening to it, and I was like, I was blown away. Like, and I had heard it before, but it just hit me in this way that time, and I would listen to it like a million times after that, like over and over again, because I was like, wow, this is genius.
Yeah, the first time listening to it, it was so uncomfortable. I think is like because it's so raw.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, super emotional.
Is fucking raw.
Yeah,
and it's like hard to listen to, but I have it on vinyl right there. Actually.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. It became my favorite song on that album for sure. And I just, but again, it's one of those things. It's like, and it's trusting the taste level. There it is, Butterfly. Yep. Look at that.
Yes, sir.
And it could be yours for $22.99 if you call today.
Yep. And then we'll throw in a second Dark Side of the Moon right there, vinyl.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that thing of trusting their taste, because you're like, well, Kendrick did it, so there got to be something in there that's fucking, you know what I mean? So even if Kendrick's next album, like you listen to it and you're like, this is shit, but then you're like, but it can't be shit. It's Kendrick. It has to be. There's something has to be good about it.
I fully expect to listen to it and not really like it at first. Yeah. Or not dislike it, but not love it in the same way. Yeah. But I'm fairly confident that I will.
Me too. Yeah.
It's like a slow burn
and,
sort of thing.
And to be honest, like Damn immediately I was like, wow, this is really, really fucking good. Yeah. Because I think it's meant to be an album that kind of is more immediately like satisfying. Whereas The Butterfly is a slow burn album, if you know, if I've ever heard one. And I think that, I don't know, like that's definitely an interesting difference. You know, like Damn kind of has a lot more of that immediate kind of thing to it. But then overall and over time, you kind of are like, okay, but the thing that lasted longer was like that slow burn thing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, even still, like Damn, to me it was a slow burn in the sense that there was so much more that I didn't know about it. That like after the first listen, it was cool and I was all right with it. And then a few more listens when I really started to understand the story. Right. That's when it was like, oh my god, shit, yeah. Like, yeah. And then when I found out that shit is backwards, that shit blew my mind, and it brought the album into this totally. So it's like,
totally.
Yo, do you remember when PG Lang came out? I really
video.
think that it's it's one of those not augmented reality, but one of those like online treasure hunt type. Things.
Interesting. Maybe.
I really think so, and there hasn't been shit about it.
I guess people sign to it. Like I guess I heard Baby Keem is signed to PG Lang, but I don't know what that means even.
Yeah, if is it a label or is it? I don't know.
I have no idea.
They're trying to be real different.
But that I was gonna say, like, also that's why I've always been obsessed, and I've always had this like romantic idea of an album, like of what albums are. Like, I just love albums. Like, I've dreamed since I was young of like crafting albums. Like that's why I make music. That's what I'm doing. Like, and I've still never made an album. I'm making another EP, and then I'll make another one, and then maybe I'll make my first album. But it's just such a sacred thing in my head that like I don't know. It's like I feel like I'm not even close to trying to make my first album at this point. Like I just feel like I'm just not there yet. Like I don't have nearly enough experience. Like I'm not at the point that I want to be at when I do that. So EPs to me are like mini like practice albums. You know, it's like I'm learning how to craft a project, but it's smaller. It's a lot, and even that, like my last EP was 5 songs long. When I listen back to it, I'm like, fuck, I could do so much better than this. But at the time, oh my god, like it was the extent of what I could do. Like, it was the best I could do at that time.
I remember because I met you pretty soon before you dropped that.
Right. I mean, you played on some of that.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. But it was like something that you were like scrambling towards the end.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could say I was scrambling. I just feel like, yeah. I mean, I was scrambling, but not because I, not like, it was late or anything. It's just.
It was time.
Yeah, I feel like I see it. I view when not just albums or projects, but even just like songs. Like when you're making a song, especially when you're an artist who's releasing songs, there's an interesting timeline where it's like there's this like it's like all the pre-time, which is when you're working on it, all the way up until the day it comes out. And the day it comes out, in my mind, it's like this shift. It's like this different thing, and maybe even. That day is more so not when it comes out, but when you submit it to be released. Once it's like there, once you can't change it.
Yeah.
It's like you mixed it, you mastered it, it's done, it's out there, and it's gonna be out there, and that's it. And once it hits that point, there's a shift where like I have to personally, this is how I deal with it. I have to stop caring about the song. Like I care about it in the sense that it matters to me. Like it's my song and I love it, but I have to stop. Like thinking of it as this sacred thing anymore, because before it comes out, up until that point, I'm like, this is the most important thing to me, and I love it, and I'm like so picky, and I want it to be exactly what I think it could be, right? As good as I think it could be, and I'm gonna labor over it, and I'm gonna put a lot of time into it, and that's what I was doing with the EP. But so when you're getting to the end of that process, you're like really like, okay, I really need to fucking listen to this, and like if there's anything I don't like about this, I need to fucking pick it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I think your next song, you're kind of at that point where you're mixing it and you're like, fuck, like I'm not super happy with this aspect of it, so I need to do something about that, because if not, then the song's never gonna be what I want it to be.
Yeah.
So you're always like scrambling in that sense toward the end and the whole time to try and get it out there and get it as good as possible. But then once you hit that point, bam, it's out now. To me, it's like, well, it's gone. Like like the sacred thing, the thing that was actually sacred about it wasn't the song, it was the process. It was like, that's the part that I feel like belongs to me.
Oh shit.
Clean. I'm on Dan's podcast right now. We're currently live.
Oh shit.
I'm just kidding. No, we're not.
Yeah, we are now.
Oh shit, we're live now?
Yeah.
You want to get dinner with us after this?
I'm down. I'm not that hungry, but I'm down.
I mean, I didn't ask if you were hungry. I asked if you want to go get dinner.
I'm not that hungry, but I'm down to hang, I guess.
You're down to hang?
Yeah, I said I'm not hungry. I said I'm not hungry, but I'm down to eat.
All right, sounds good. I'll hit you up after this.
But, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I love you.
I love you, Fahim.
I love you too.
Okay, bye.
Wait, where are you guys trying to eat?
We don't know yet. Think about it, though, and text me.
For sure.
That's the hardest. That's always the hardest question to answer is, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go? What do you want to eat? Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know.
So many options.
Good.
Honestly, I'm so hungry now.
Really?
So maybe let's not do this for too long.
All right. Yeah. No. This last part will be.
I don't want to throw up on you.
Oh man, what were we just talking about? Fuck Instagram. You know what? Fuck Instagram. I'm so tired of this limit just cutting off the conversation at such awkward times. Yeah. And it just totally throws us off track.
I was just talking about how like once a song comes out or a project or something, I have to let go of it. Like I can't hold on to it anymore, because then it's just a burden for me. You know what I mean? Like, and the part that I'm obsessed with and the part that I'm sacred about is not the song as much as it's the process and the ability to have the song. It's almost like I'm not obsessed with the photo. I'm obsessed with the camera. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I can have a camera and keep taking photos, then I'm happy. But I'm not gonna labor over the photos. The photos are just documentation. I really feel like my songs are just, they're like diary entries, you know? Yeah. And that sounds cliche but I'm not even talking about my lyrics. I'm just talking about the song itself. It's like those decisions that I made to make the song what it is, like to make the drums that way, or to make the thing sound this way, and my vocals and my lyrics and every little piece of that I had to think about and put together is me documenting who I am in that moment. It's like this is what I wanted. This is what I was into. You know, like 5 years from now, I'm not going to be into the same kinds of music necessarily. Like I will to some extent, but I'm not going to have those same ideas in my head the same way, because that was that moment. In that moment, it was like, this would be cool, you know, and that maybe I wouldn't make that decision the next day, but that day it was. And that's what the songs are. It's like,
that trips me out, man.
that's what it is. And then once it's out there, it's like, it's out there. I wrote that diary entry. Now I'm going to write another one, you know, and I enjoy it. Like I do go back sometimes or whatever, but I try not to. Honestly, I don't enjoy it that much, but I enjoy the fact that I have these songs out. I like the songs. It's cool to me. You know, that all that stuff. Like I feel really lucky more than anything. That's the biggest thing. I feel so lucky about it. That's another reason why I don't like talking about it so much, is because I'm like, I hate feeling like we're tooting our own horns with this shit. Because I'm like, we're not that cool because we make music. Like, we're not.
We're lucky.
We're lucky
that we get the chance. I have people tell me that, like, you're so lucky that you have a chance, and it really makes me stop. Like, fuck, not everybody can do that.
Exactly.
What do you do? What do you do when you're like upset? Like, music is where I go. Like, yeah, sure, I can journal, I can do whatever, but it's like, without that cathartic sort of letting it all out in a beautiful way and turning something that's a really like negative experience or a really difficult experience into something beautiful that I can look back on fondly in a way. Yeah. It's like, without that, I see why people get cynical, I guess.
No, totally. I mean, you're right. And yeah, I mean, I just feel like we're really fucking lucky. Like, like that's, you know, and I feel like the gratitude aspect of it is so not as present in music. People are very like, oh, like, I'm just really good at this. Like, they feel like because they're really good at it, it's just like, oh, like, whatever, I'm just good at it.
All me for real.
Yeah. And it's like, it's all just people tooting their own horns, like, as if you're so fucking cool because you do this artistic thing. It's like, you're lucky that you get to do it. And that's coming from someone who fucking, like, you know, like, I love artists. Like, I have not idols, but I have artists that I fucking love, and I'm like, whoa, like, they are the coolest shit to me. Like, and the fact that their art is the coolest shit to me, like, I love it and I'm obsessed with it. It's such a weird sign.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I love, like, you know, I love their music. I love their art. I love the creativity. I love all that shit, and I'm obsessed with it myself. But it's so important to me that I'm aware that this is a bubble. Like, that in the real world or outside of this bubble, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? No one gives a shit about that artistic thing, this artistic thing. I mean, not no one, but you know what I mean? Like, only the people that care, and that's why it's important. But at the end of the day, it's like, there's people out there who's struggling to live. There's people out there who don't have food and don't have water. That's real shit. That's real problems. My problems are not real problems. My music problems, not real problems. So I'll complain about them because they annoy me and they make me upset or whatever, and we'll complain about them when we talk to each other. But I'm not going to complain about them and pretend that, or as if they are like real fucking problems, because they're not. It's like, I'm lucky that I have these fucking problems. You know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky I get to express myself, and I'm lucky I have food and water and shelter and the things that I need in order to fucking go and make music. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a privilege. Like, it really, really, really is. And people don't say that enough or talk about it enough. Whatever you do, not even just music, but art in general. Like think about that. Like, you're dedicating your life to this like symbolic thing. You know what I mean? Like, whatever art it is, you know, it's like you're dedicating your life to this, like, to like, if it's music, you're like making noise. You make noises that make people feel things, which is, it's amazing. It's like the most beautiful thing in the world to me. But you're so, like, that's so, you know what I mean? Like, people were like, think about the jobs that were available for people all throughout history. You know what I mean? Like, this is a pretty fucking 1 in a million kind of job that if you're lucky enough to have, you should be pretty fucking like happy, or you should be pretty fucking grateful. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is I don't know, you know? So I don't want to let go of the gratitude aspect of it ever, because then I'm going to get complacent and I'm going to get bitter and I'm going to get like, oh, like, it's going to feel like I deserved this, but I didn't. I was lucky. Maybe to some extent I deserved it because I worked hard for it. But, like, you know, nobody does enough good to deserve this much good. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it does. What do you think you would be doing if say that you didn't have that musical talent, say that you didn't have any artistic talent, like what do you think you'd...
So if I just was, because if I wasn't doing music, I'd be doing some other kind of creative thing for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you...
It's just outside of the creative field altogether, I die. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like all there is to me. I mean, not really. Like, there's other aspects of life that I really like, but I just would not have a passion. I would be passionless. I don't know. Maybe I would get into sports or something. I don't really know. I love some sports. Like, I love like fighting sports. I love combat sports. But I don't know if I'd have the gut for that. I don't know if I'd have the will to do that. So I don't really know. That's a tough question. Like,
it's a super tough question because you're part of your, I mean, not to say that your personality is that you're a musician, but in a way,
no, I mean, yeah,
kind of is
a big part of my identity. For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And it's like something that I rely on, which is not necessarily the healthiest thing, where it's like, you know, like if music was taken away from me, like I'd be fucked up.
Yeah, like who am I?
Yeah, I would, exactly. I would not really know who I am, which is weird, but like it's true. I don't know. It's just because it also just, it's so simple too, because it comes down to like, it's just fun. Like I don't know. I think the way I view life like can be pretty simple sometimes, because it's just like, I'm just here for a little while. I'm gonna just try to enjoy it. So what do I do? What do I enjoy? And it's like I feel really lucky that I found this thing that I enjoy a lot. I enjoy it a whole fucking lot, so much, and I have the opportunity to do it. Those are two things. Because some people don't have that thing. They never find that thing that brings them that much joy, that they enjoy that much. But a lot of people don't. They don't have a passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, to me, it's like, what else is there in your life to like, what can be more important than finding it and finding what you're passionate about, finding your passion for life, even if it's just living or traveling or anything. It doesn't even matter, but just finding the things in your life that make you happy, that make you want to live.
I don't know if there's anybody who's passionless, but I think what your next point is going to be is having the resources or having
the one
creativity
thing,
or the
one thing is, I think there are people who are, it's not that they can't have a passion, it's that they haven't found their passion.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of people like that, for sure. I've known a lot of them. And the other thing is that then there's people who have found their passion, but who, like you said, don't have the resources, they don't have the opportunity to pursue it or to even do it. You know what I mean? Like, for whatever reason, like they found the thing that they love, but they just can't, you know, and that's fucked up too. That's really sad and shitty. But the fact that I've don't have either of those two issues, it puts me in a pretty fucking lucky minority.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of people.
And everything had to happen perfectly in order for that to even happen. Like, just the fact that your brain works in a very like way that's particular to you as an individual. Like, it might be similar to some people, but I really do admire your outlook on the world in a lot of ways. And you sort of, the way that you look, you have kind of like a romantic sort of view on things, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful outlook.
Thanks.
Yeah, and it's something, that's another thing that you're lucky to have is that sort of mental framework and structure.
Right. No, I mean I'm lucky. I'm grateful for all of it.
Shit, my life ended again. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, no, I don't think it did. What? Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I never want to not feel lucky. I never want to not feel grateful. And I just want to keep making music, and hopefully people will listen to it. I'm going to try my best to make good music and make music that people want to listen to, and make music that I want to listen to and that it makes me excited. And then if it ever isn't exciting anymore, and if it ever isn't fun anymore, and I try and I try and I try, and for some reason it's just not the same anymore, then I'll move on to something else. I mean, that's really... So the way, I mean, I don't talk about this maybe enough. Maybe I should vocally manifest it here, because
do it.
I don't do that enough.
It's some real shit.
I keep my ideas and my plans and shit to myself. And this one, I think I have a good reason, or a reasonable reason why I don't. But I want to be a filmmaker. Like, that's like, I don't know. Like, I don't talk about it because it seems like people are like, okay, duh. Like, everybody wants to make a movie, like whatever, and like. And it's like, but music is your thing. And it's like, but I really have like a sort of dual passion for music and film. I just don't do film as much because it's so much harder, like financially and like resource wise. Like, you need people, you need tons of people, you need money and all this stuff. And it's shit that I don't have. Like, I have friends, thankfully, who have helped me. Like, and that's why I've directed all my own music videos and stuff, because I wanted to make films for a long time, but it's like I never had an avenue that made sense until I started releasing music, and then I was like, well, I could just make music videos for them. Like that makes perfect sense, you know. And so but there's so much about film that I really, really love, and that's this creative outlet that I really, really want to explore. And it's like in my mind, it's gonna happen 100%. Like I'm saying this now, like I hope we can keep this recording, and then fucking 10 years later, like come back and watch this, and you'll be like, damn, he fucking did that shit, because it's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna make films. I'm gonna make feature length films. Like I already write and I do all this stuff. Like, and I'm sort of, music is right now the passion, and it's something that I fucking love doing, and I'll probably always love doing. But it also is the thing that's accessible. You know, it's like I can do it. I don't need that much stuff. I can do it by myself. Like it's easy and accessible. But if film was easy and accessible, I would be doing that shit all the time as well. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't view myself necessarily as someone who is going to do music for the rest of their life. And even then, I don't think my obsession is as much with music specifically as it is with just creativity. Like just being creative. Like that is mostly what I live for. I don't really live for music as much as I live for creativity. I fucking love music, and my life wouldn't be anything without it. But I could imagine someday, maybe not quitting music forever, but taking breaks and just not making music for a while. Like that could happen, you know. I don't know. Maybe I would feel weird and I would need to do it just for my own mind. But I don't know. I think someday I'll probably like stop releasing music or something, or you know, whatever, and maybe only do it for fun, and then just really, really, really knuckle down and like focus on film, on like my film career. Yeah. And I want to do it the whole 9 yards, you know. Like I want to be at the Oscars. Like I want to do all that shit. Like, yeah, man. And it sounds like insane because it's like, well, I'm not even, you know, I haven't even started that kind of thing. But it's very real in my mind, and I'm not letting go of that.
The only reason that you are where you are right now is because you have that in your mind that this is what I'm doing.
Right.
Because if you don't have that, if you have that maybe, or I'm going to try, right, it's so much harder to make any forward progress, because in the back of your head, you're thinking the whole time, yeah, but this is most likely not going to work out.
Right. No, exactly. I mean, and the only reason I am doing music is because, again, I was saying earlier, I have the audacity to believe that maybe it can happen. And it might and it might not. You know, that is just going to depend on luck and work and everything. Like, it all has to come together. But, like, I have to have the audacity to believe that I can do it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not going to believe that, then it's never going to happen.
Yeah, if you let that fear stop you,
exactly,
it's like, then you don't even get the chance.
Totally. And it's the same with the film thing. Like, even like the first time I directed the music video, my first music video, I was super scared because we put a lot into it. We spent a lot of money on it. And it was, all of us were first time people. No one involved in that. Maybe one person who was like assisting just by like, you know, helping us grab stuff or like whatever, had any experience at all on any sets. But other than that, and then like some of the actors, but that's it. But like outside of that, me, the person doing the camera, who is my partner Demi, in all of them, like she shoots them, I directed, like everybody else, you know, pretty much it's the first time ever really, really doing this thing. And it was scary because I was like, oh shit, like, and I felt like such an imposter. I was like, you know what I mean? Like I kept thinking like, man, like, you know, anyone I know that like really is into filmmaking, they're going to watch this and be like, this motherfucker doesn't know what he's doing. But I was like, I don't care. Like, everyone has to start that way. Like, I have to penetrate that. And no one's going to think of me as this thing until I am that thing. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. I feel like there's a little bit of like a club mentality sometimes. Same with music. It's like I don't think about it anymore really, but like, you know, I don't know. It's like that thing where it's like nobody expects this of me, so it makes it sometimes hard to do because you're like, you know, it's like, I don't know. Like if I wanted to grow a mustache or something, it's like I'm not the guy with the mustache, so no one's gonna think that. But then you get the mustache, and then you're the guy with the mustache. Like then you become that, you know. So it's like I felt that way when I was directing. It's like I'm not a director. Like that was such a weird thing to be like I'm a director, you know, or I direct. But it was like, well, I'm directing this thing, so I did that, you know what I mean? And then I just kept doing it and everything, and it was like I have to normalize it to myself to normalize it to everyone else to get anywhere with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know, like, and that's a small step, but to me it was a milestone. It was like, here it is, the first step, and like going and going and going. So and then outside of that, whatever it is, even if it's not filmmaking, like any sort of creative thing, like I just live for that. I live for the like getting into it, learning about it, getting excited about it, thinking it's cool, and like blah blah blah. It's so easy for me to fall in love with different creative things, like not even necessarily doing them, but at least other people doing them, you know, like anybody that's like creative or that does really interesting, amazing creative work. I'll watch like a documentary about somebody who did something crazy artistic, and I'm like, fuck, like that, like it inspires me. I'm like, that's fucking amazing.
Me too. I
like,
watched This Is It recently for the first time.
Oh yeah,
the Michael Jackson. Yeah. Oh shit, that was fucking inspiring. Like,
right.
Regardless of
I
whatever.
mean, that's music, but still,
Yeah, well, yeah, that because I'm not a filmmaker.
No, I get you. But I guess what I'm trying to say is even shit that I don't even do.
Okay, just general creativity.
Told to me in the right way, I'm like, that inspires me. I'm like,
you know what?
insane.
You know what inspires me is sculpting.
Wow.
Sculpting's fucking
I've never
crazy.
really looked into it, but I'm sure.
It's just insane. You start with this giant nothing and you chip away and you're chipping away until like what you know it will be, and you're making decisions like
I mean, I was going to say right now, I think funny enough, like the first time I directed anything, I learned so much because I just had all these notions that were just wrong about what the filmmaking process was going to be like or what directing something was going to be like. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, I feel like it's more like sculpting than it is like painting, because you're not really creating something from nothing. You're creating something from everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then you whittle it down
to what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, because what filmmaking is at the end of the day is, you're not like, I mean, you are creating something from nothing, but you're more so just putting focus on something. Like when you're filming something, like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's like you're narrowing down the world to this thing, to this one image. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I film you, it's me saying, look at him, not that thing or whatever else is in the world. I'm narrowing it down to this one thing. And when I do that enough times in a row, it becomes a story, right? So it's sort of this, it's weird. It's like this backwards artistic thing where it's like music. You start with nothing and you build. But this you narrow down. You know, like because there's so much you can do, but it's oftentimes more about what you didn't do than it is what you did, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like you have to like. It's
what you decide not to show.
Yeah, and music can be like that too. Yeah, it is about what you did show. But what you did show only boils down to everything you decided not to show. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you have to like narrow that down and like. I don't know, like reject all the other stuff to be like, this is the thing that I want to film, or this is the thing that I'm going to show. And yeah, like, and there's a lot of little things like that. They're very subtle. Like filmmaking is such a subtle art. Like, you know, it's like all the little things, like a push in, like close up on somebody. Like there's a lot of like, you know, a lot of filmmakers like do unmotivated camera moves, but like sometimes like the perfect, like, little thing tells the story, like, and you know what I mean, like it's a lot of little things that you notice like in that kind of thing, but those things are like what make me excited about it is noticing them and being like, oh, how that reinforced the story, or how that reinforced this or that, like subtle little things that everyone, like, it's interesting because everyone knows them, but not everybody like is aware that they know them.
Actively paying attention.
Like we all speak the language of film because we watch movies. Everybody watches movies, so we all know the language. We just don't even like realize that we're like reading it as we're reading it. But there's so many little things in films that they do them because they know that it's putting that thing in your head, and it does, and you pick it up and you know. Like for example, one thing that happens a lot. I don't know why this is the example that came to my head, but it's like oftentimes in films when you have like a shot of like multiple people maybe talking, and one of them is like gonna make a realization, they'll cut other people out of the frame, even if it's like a walk and talk, like two people are just walking and talking and the camera's moving for a second. Maybe you'll like cut somebody out of the frame. Sorry, it's okay. You'll like cut somebody out of the frame and just focus on this one person for a second, and just like not even cutting away or whatever, just in the same shot, just isolating somebody in a shot for a second and then pulling away again. That, like, if you watch that happen and they don't say anything. They just like you watch them have a realization. It's so that camera move is like telling you they had a realization. You know what I mean? And it's only because you've seen so many movies that did the same thing that you already know now subconsciously that that's what it means. So you're reading the film language without even really knowing that you are. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things like that like that's why
it's also such. It's just like a new in terms of history. It's a newer form of
it is 100%
storytelling.
It's true. I mean, and even like filmmaking as an art form, like it wasn't thought of as art for a long time until like very, very recently. You know, like I mean the first film schools I think were in Russia in like the 1920s or some shit. But then it wasn't until like the 1960s that like French New Wave came, and that was like when people really started to say like, okay, a director is an artist. Like a film director has to think of their film as like their novel or their painting or whatever. Like, and the way that they decide to point their camera is that's their pen. Yeah. That's their thing.
I'm gonna pull you in.
Oh shit! Sorry, I'm
like completely out of frame. Yeah, talking to myself. Hello, this is the Dan Durant podcast. Popped right back in.
Anyway, I got fucking. See, this is. I say I don't like talking about this shit, and then now, I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I it's amazing and it's interesting, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. All right, you want to end this so that we can go get our food?
Let's go get some food.
All right, man. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we did this. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything that you want to plug or anything that you want to say before you
go listen to Swoon?
Go listen to Swoon
Spotify.
On Spotify.
Yeah, and watch out for the new song coming out.
Sorry.
Watch out for the new song coming out soon. Sometime soon. I don't know. It's gonna be awesome with me and Andrea Shahayed.
It's the best song I've ever heard in my entire life. I've never heard a song that's better. Yeah. And if you say that you've heard a song that's better, you're
lying.
Absolutely lying.
Yep.
Because you're trying to because you're part of the propaganda. All right. I hope that lady's having a good day. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.